Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Snowbound Blood, Volume 7. My mind told me to do a Sesame Street count joke. 1 volume, 2 volumes, 3 volumes,
God.
I'm not gonna do the full thing.
Thank God. Please.
Please. Well, maybe I will actually now.
No!
Okay.
Please don't do it.
Don't do it on stream? My stream?
Yes.
Okay. Alright.
I'm your manager now.
Alright, stick around for the post-credit scene of this stream, where I continue this bit.
What the fuck is good in? Put in some wind orbs and you'll see.
Go in, baby! Actually, oh, okay,
We might have to
yeah, I'm
disable that for now.
yeah, I'm gonna quickly run over to Twitch to disable that. Thank you.
Get all of your goat ins before we start.
Yeah, you gotta get your goat in energy out. Come on, baby. Get the goats out. Get the goats out. Get the goats in by getting them out.
Hi, Ezreal. Hi, Heather.
Hello there. Hello to you all. I apologize. I am currently trying to get onto twitch.tv. Okay, I also have to disable add details to the report for now, because that's not for those of you who do not know, last night we attempted to do a stream where we wrote SCP fanfic, and it didn't work out because there was a fucking windstorm in Chicago.
Yeah,
and it was real nasty, actually. Should I actually disable more shoe wrap?
I mean, are people gonna do it this stream? I don't know.
No, now that you've said that, you've tempted fate.
Oh God, okay.
I think you've tempted fate by saying that. Apologies about this, people. Just give me 1 second here. Unless, of course, someone makes me do the Morshu rap right now. Like, right now while I'm disabling it. Nope, you can't anymore.
Oh, this is so sad.
You know what? It's fine. It's fine.
Are you sure that wasn't the SCP's doing?
God. I mean, well, I didn't read the report. That was the one agent. And, I don't know who that is. They just took over. The Foundation's kind of just a bitch. They just stole my account. It's kind of fucked up and evil. This is so sad. I don't think it is, actually.
That's me, bro.
I know it is. Anyway.
I'm saying this is so sad to River because I think River was gonna make you do the Morshu rap.
I'm pretty sure River was going to do that. Hello, Cheesy Chixie. How's it going? It's good to see you again. How's it going? I hope you're having a wonderful evening, and thank you for joining us. Anyways,
yeah, welcome.
Welcome. Also, hi Ev. It's good to see you as well. I'm glad that watching Disney's Encanto really brought out the feelings out of you. I have to go see that. I want to go see it as well. Also, hello to you, Ezreal, and hello to you, Heather. I both hope you're having wonderful evenings as well.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it wouldn't have been too annoying had I gotten the time. I was hoping it would be more tolerable. No, if you had, honestly, if you had done it right as we were, as we're starting, like, right now, it would have been fine. It would have been totally fine.
Yeah.
But, like, preferably, I would not like to have an interruption of that caliber, and even if people eat the wind orbs, I can chew them out when I need to.
Imagine we were reading through the Shira's route, and in the middle of this very intimate moment, you had to do the Morshu rap.
I would have lost my fucking mind. Anyway, Jesus Christ. I'm not saying lying, but it's been hard to go to sleep lately. I'm sorry to hear about that, Duke. I really am. But
yeah, I hope you get some sleep soon.
Yeah, I hope so too. Go to sleep when you feel you are ready to. I shouldn't say that because I know you. try to go sleep soon. Thank you for joining us, but like make sure to get yourself sleep as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right, gang. Let's get into it. Let's just snowbound bud. Snow boo 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 boo. Snow way boo boo.
Mm-hmm.
Volume 7 of
Let's
Bounties.
start with a recap of all the previous volumes. So
Interesting.
yes.
Okay. Bounties and botany. Your name is Secily Iopara, and the last couple of weeks have been getting to you. Your present case has got you off kilter, still running around like a bark beast chasing its tail, circle after circle after circle. Just like you were always around Cadley's. You keep telling yourself you're gonna break out of this pattern, but you inevitably find yourself in even more tangled in it. Normally, you would have more progress to show for all the time that you spent on the assignment. You're beginning to think a linear measure of your advancement is ill-suited for the situation at hand. Or maybe you just wish the mental progress bar you project onto the situation was fuller, so to speak. Not that your investigations have been uneventful. You've had a sizable roster of trolls to interview, made up of potential suspects as well as tentative allies. You're notably bad at making notes under any normal circumstances. But through it all, you've made a few new acquaintances, caught up with some old ones, within Stronghold 21, as well as other in locations you're not keen on revisiting. They've all helped you start piecing together the situation you're embroiled in, each in their own unique way. Perhaps now, as you begin another chapter of your investigation, is the best time to review those pieces. I really just want to sleep, but I haven't been on your streams for a very long time. I've missed this. Well, it's good to have you here, but also, like, one of my big policies here is that if you need to go to bed, you fucking go to bed, actually. Because, like, sleep is so important, and sleep is so important for your health. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to stick around a little longer, that's A-okay, but make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure that you get your sleepy.
Yeah.
I don't.
And if you end up going to sleep, we will keep you in our thoughts throughout the stream.
So true, and you will be able to watch the VOD.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to go to sleep. I'm a sleepless being.
Me too.
You really are, Dawn. You really are, actually. I don't. I don't think I personally need a recap.
You don't need to recap. It's entirely optional.
Yeah, that's fair. It's all just Oh! Yamato, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it.
It's Yuta, I think.
Oh, is that? Yo, no way.
I'm not sure, actually.
Oh, oh, fuck. God damn it. The SCP stream really fucked everything up. Oh my god. Alright, hang on. You're gonna be seeing Winorb really quickly.
Okay.
You are no longer seeing Winorb. Okay, we're good. I think we're going to not. I don't think we necessarily need to do this. We've been doing this once a month, and I got it in my brain. I got a big brain. I'm like Jimmy Neutron.
You got good memory like Secily over here.
So true. Cecily is in the middle of my kidney onion.
No.
That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke.
But ironically, if you have Secily as your kidney onion core, I think you might need help.
I do not. Oh my god. I don't even remember who my core is. Actually, the core I listed for myself. No, Miro's. I'm not gonna.
There's inner.
Yeah, I'm not gonna look at my kin onion right now. My own personal kin onion.
Oh
My
yes, it was Yuta. I got pinged by them saying that was me that followed. Send help.
send help. Oh,
Please help. I'm in verification hell. They say.
oh God. Okay, I see. Well, thank you, Yuta, for joining us tonight. What the fuck, Twitch.tv?
I'm so sorry.
Me fucking too. Also, Tyson, how's it going?
Hi, Tyson.
Yeah, Volume 7, baby. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
Let's keep moving forward. Succinctly put, you've done a number of objective amount of legwork, had a number of world-changing revelations, stumbled into many secrets, and kept quite a few of them. And yet you seem no closer to discovering the whereabouts of the filter. Even so, you need to keep searching for answers. Answers to the questions corporate never asked you in the first place. And it's becoming increasingly apparent you'll need to resort to unconventional methods in order to get them.
Okay, there they are.
There they are. There they are. I fucking
The
love.
big boys.
I do love him shooting. Okay, I do. I do want to actually ask this like right now. Necron's hand just turned into a gun, right? Is that
Yes.
that is what happened? Okay.
Yes.
So a quick story here. I live in Chicago. This is if you've been here before, you know this. Over the course of the weekend, I went to C2E2, which is the big comic convention in the area, and I tried to meet up with a Vastier cosplayer named Bonnie, who went as Elsie. And after I left, I realized, hey, what if I did a Vaster cosplay? And I'm like, okay, who do I want to do? I'd be like, and I went, oh, let's do Necron. And then I remembered he has the gun hand, and I'm like, how the fuck would I do that? How the fuck would I manage that?
You gotta make it a glove.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. It'd just be a glove, but I mean, still,
Yeah.
funny gun hand,
Funny gun hand.
funny gun hand. Actually,
I think he would kill it. I think he would kill it as a Necron, honestly.
yo, Necron cosplay moment, maybe.
Attach your fork to your wrist like Assassin's Creed, but with fork.
Good. I love that though. That's very good. Maybe I'm thinking on it, but
Mm-hmm.
I have a cosplay that I'm in the middle of right now. So
Uh-huh.
that's going to be a we'll talk on that. Anyways,
Yeah. Alright. So,
Nec
Necron first.
Necron.
Alright. Then I'll narrate
Sounds good.
for you. Alright, let me just get me some hydration.
Yes, please hydrate. Please, please, please. I also shared my kin onion in the server if you're curious. I will take a look at it. Like, I guess I'll take a look at it like really quickly while Donna's hydrating.
Yeah. Hydrate through Power Raid.
Okay, so I know half of these people. I do not know the League of Legends people.
It's okay. I don't know them either, except for the characters that are in Arcane, because Arcane has ruined me.
Fucking fair, actually. I need to watch Arcane, actually.
Please, please watch it with me.
I I will do it. We'll talk. We'll talk after stream if we
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
if we
yeah.
want to do that.
Yeah.
Anyways, when you're ready.
Alright. It's time you sought out one Necron Exmort, the Ashbringer. Two people have suggested that you look for him so far, and frankly, you should have listened to the first one. She doesn't typically give bad advice. Well, better late than never. Deciding to find the man is one thing. Actually tracking him down is another matter entirely. His matespread gave you his current coordinates, but even she wasn't able to tell you what he was doing there or what the place actually was. She simply said that he was on one of his jobs. Necron's jobs. You have an idea as to what those entail. He's a vigilante of sorts. One of those types that take it upon themselves to exact justice on those they deem deserving of it. Now, you could go on about the morality of playing Regulator, Perpetrator, and Warranter, but that might be a tad too hypocritical. In a way, what he does is similar to your own occupation, with less corporal oversight, naturally, and you're certain of this, much less flair.
Mm.
The specifics of how Necron chooses his targets are unclear to you, however. He's infamous, in a way, but it's hard to sift through all the contradictory information about him and form a cohesive idea of the man. He's pretty much universally feared in the criminal underworld and reviled in equal measure. But you could say the same for yourself. Normally, you will be wary of meeting someone like this. You often find that self-proclaimed vigilantes are volatile, aggressive, or just kind of grating, but you're going to give Necron the benefit of the doubt. While you find some of Orica's decisions questionable, the fondness with which she talks about her mate spirit is enough to put him in your good graces. Tentatively. You rev your bike at speed down the road, sending a spray of gravel flying into the air around you. You're approaching the location Orica sent you. Surrounding you is an empty, flat expanse littered with the skeletons of long abandoned factories. Even now, pitched clean by the elements and pilferers alike. They're imposing with their hard lines and sharp angles. This used to be a stronghold too, once. Not a residential one like Stronghold 21, but an industrial one. A grid of factories and power plants that supplied some other pocket of civilization. Until one day, it didn't. You don't know the particulars, but due to incorrect use, poor maintenance, or plain old bad luck, it is not a rare occurrence for these places to be ravaged by disaster. This town is a husk now, for all intents and purposes, besides those of the criminally inclined. Or those who pursue them, as the case may be. You keep driving. Slowly, the landscape around you changes. Different buildings, smaller and closer together and less imposing, but just as decrepit. Then, all at once, your eternal map snaps into place. You know exactly where you are. You scoff, and the wind is quick to steal the sound from your mouth. You're approaching from a different direction, but there's no doubt about it. You've reached the area where your previous case ended. The radius of the circle you're moving around keeps getting smaller. Briefly, you entertain the notion that you're going to find Negro in the exact same building where you dealt the drug ring. Perhaps the bodies of those ruffians haven't even been disposed of yet. You double-check the coordinates Orcus sent you and realize your destination is a bit further still. Not the exact same place, then. You slow down a little as you navigate down a network of narrow streets between a series of identical rectangular buildings. Warehouses, you surmise. The last one to the right is your objective. You turn off your engine and let your momentum carry you down the narrow slope to the parking lot in front of it. There's a single other vehicle, so caked with dirt that you assume it's been abandoned here. You park your bike on the opposite side of the lot. Then, you pause and listen. At first, the only thing you hear is the faint hiss of the wind between the buildings. A vehicle zipping past in the distance. Silence. Thump. A loud crash comes from within the warehouse, followed by muffled yelling. You grip Proserpina and start running towards the door. It wouldn't do for Necron to meet his end before you meet him. You rush in, epee in hand, your coat whipping dramatically behind you. In a display of pure generosity, the door is unlocked so it doesn't obstruct your entrance. You barge in on quite the scene. Two trolls are fighting it out in the middle of the room, trading blows, grunting, cursing. Blood, rust-colored and cerulean, splatters on the floor. For a moment, you're not certain which of them you came here to support. Then, you catch a glimpse of the metal hand, and you know that its owner is your man. Before you can as much as take a step forward, Necron shoves his opponent back with a grunt, causing him to stagger into the containers lining the wall. They lose their footing, tumble backwards, and collapse against one of them with a shrill sound of bent metal and a startled yell that dies in their throat. You flinch. The troll remains motionless. Necron straightens up and dusts off, relaxing from his combat-ready stance. This is when he notices you and spins around to face you. My name's... There is movement behind him. Your eyes dart towards Necron's former assailant as you frantically switch gears to warn him of the danger. He just gives you a wide grin.
Be with you shortly, sweetheart.
Just as the troll behind him pushes back to their feet, Necron switches his prosthetic hand to a spoon.
A spoon? Okay.
They take an unsteady step towards him. A glint of metal flashes in their hand, and you know they've drawn a knife. You instinctively lift up your own blade, ready to dash forward before they have taken a swing, despite the aggravating denominator you've just been given. You're in a charitable mood today. Then, Necron whips around and punches a spoon appendage into the troll's right eye socket. It sinks in with a wet sucking noise. Blood coats the mechanical hand and drips to the floor. The troll's entire body locks up. Any sound of pain it might have made cut short by the severity of the blow.
God. Oh, I need a moment. Hang on here.
Yeah, this is a lot.
I'm not even surprised, but holy shit. Okay. Hope you like your eggs scrambled.
Sweet all-mother. With a mechanical whir, the spoon starts spinning rapidly on its axis. You don't want to think too hard about what happens inside this sucker's skull, but it's enough to permanently terminate all their neurological functions. They're dead before their body slumps onto the floor.
Did he just blend this guy's brains?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Necron turns off his hand spoon. Blood and bits of whisked brain matter falls to the floor, but he wipes the utensil off of his hands, appearing unfazed. Yep, this is your husband, alright.
I might need to reconsider. Maybe a little bit. We'll see. We're early in this.
Just like you thought, he has room for improvement in the elegance department. He gives the corpse a light kick to the side to make sure they are truly dead, and then turns back to you. Let's try this again. My name's...
Secily. Oh no. Recognize you as soon as I saw you.
Oh. Before you can decide whether that's a good or bad thing, he takes a step forward towards you and gives you a broad smile.
Orcus told me a lot about you.
The spoon on his prosthetic retracts with a series of clicks to be replaced by a mechanical hand. It, too, is covered in blood, but he extends it for a handshake, oblivious. Likewise. After a moment's deliberation, you accept the offered hand. You really hope this blood doesn't stick to your fingers. You earn yourself another bright grin, this time accompanied by a firm, steely handshake.
Righteous! Been hoping our paths would be proper crossed someday, regulator.
You raise your eyebrows. You can't say you get this one often.
Any friend of my sugar is my friend too.
That's... wow. You haven't heard that term in sweeps. What you can't help but notice, though, is how he lights up when he mentions Orica. She does the same, invariably, whenever he comes up. You don't want to stereotype, but what is it with every blue bug you meet having a vehement love for their mate sprint?
Good, I love that.
It's a trend you're happy to see, but wary to outwardly acknowledge. It makes you feel like you're infringing on something not meant for your eyes. Before you can dwell on the feeling too much, Necron keeps going.
So what can I do for you, love? I'm assuming this ain't a courtesy visit.
You're assuming correctly. First of all, never call me love again.
No.
If we are to be working together, you will refrain from using terms of endearment with me. Secily would do just fine.
Working together?
Oh, you're getting a bit ahead of yourself. Let me backtrack a little. I'm working on a case that seems connected to your own pursuits. I thought it would be prudent to compare our notes and see whether between the two of us we have enough information to complete the puzzle. He's considering you very carefully, much more serious now that you've broached the subject of his work. You wonder if he's been as trouble as of late as you have. Let's start with the burglary.
Burglary? That sounds like a tubular portmanteau.
You didn't expect this. It's oddly flattering. Thank you. Anyway, I have reason to believe that my prime suspect is someone of your interest as well. You have his undivided attention. A single drop of blood drips from his mechanical hand as he ponders how to proceed. Would you mind me asking you a few questions before I relay what I know?
You bet. What's the skinny?
You take a moment to collect your thoughts. Tell me about yourself.
About me? I'm just a dude who hunts down baddies. I'm like, hella good at it. But beyond that,
He considers for a moment.
I got a collection of historically accurate replicas of bladed weapons from the Renaissance.
That's not even tangential to the purpose of this conversation. It's so unrelated to what you're meant to be discussing that I didn't only miss the mark but in an entirely different building. Still, you can't help but be intrigued. Decorative or functional? His newest grin nearly splits his face in half.
Absolutely legit. You could like cleave a troll in half with any of those beauties. Easy.
How many do you have?
Last I counted, 17.
Respectable. I'm something of a blade aficionado myself.
No fake. I had a hunch.
He nods towards the epee sheathed at your side. Oh, you hadn't realized when you put Parsipino away. You lay a fond hand on the hilt and allow the two of you a moment of camaraderie over your common interests. Perhaps Necron has a more refined taste than you gave him credit for. Then you ponder your next question. The troll you just murdered.
Oh, that wastoid? That was a fucking handful, I kid you not. Got a kick out of preying on unbounded trolls. Far as I can tell, hit at least a dozen more bondmates than he should have. Sucks that people still fall for that trick. Totally bogus.
Your face contorts into a grimace almost of its own volition. Albeit repugnant, such acts aren't unprecedented. Every so often you hear about trolls that use bonding as a means of sowing pain. They're no better than a killer in your eyes. Even worse, perhaps. With the way your species' body chemistry works, you can bond with no more than 2 partners. Your society isn't kind to those who try to circumvent this limitation. Those caught with more than 2 bonds are cast out, left jobless, treated worse than criminals. You know, perhaps better than most, that not everyone who is willing to toe across that line has a malicious intent. But the troll whose body is slowly getting cold in front of you undoubtedly did. The methodology is clear. He seems to have taken a page out of Ace Ruger Switchum's playbook.
Who?
As far as you know, it was Switchum who started this trend. He had no reason to, besides his sick enjoyment of others' misery. That, and the cocktail of hormones that comes with having more than 2 bonds, must have been a powerful drug. One can assume that at some point the withdrawals he made himself go through turned into a literal high. Some speculate that he's more responsible than Caesar for the doomed path your society is now on.
More than Calder's ancestor? What the fuck?
Yeah, Murat's ancestor's fucked.
That's Murat's ancestor?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God, what the fuck, actually?
You don't know much about that, but it seems clear to you that if it had been for Switchum, the way your culture views romance and sexuality might not have turned quite so black and white. You look at the corpse on the floor with newfound disdain. You wish the troll were still alive just so you could kill him again. Not that it would help the people he's left behind. You clear your throat. Are these the sorts of trolls you typically pursue? He nods.
More or less. Plenty of folk out there looking to hurt others in messed up ways. Not that you'll ever need me to tell you that. I keep busy.
Depending on the source, you've heard different examples of the kinds of trolls he keeps busy with. Some say he goes after murderers, or predators, like the ones whose blood is currently congealing on the floor. Others, that he targets people who, well, defy your culture's relationship conventions. Let's go with that. In any case, you're not sure where the truth lies. You stare at the man before you, and he holds your gaze, smiling even as confusion creeps into his features. You almost look away as the familiar bitterness of your guilt claws up your throat. Would he make you his enemy if he knew how you felt? You don't find it within you to ask just yet. Instead, you focus on business. The hand. You keep glancing at it. It's shiny, bulky, sophisticated. It's not hard to recognize Orca's handiwork. Pun not intended. You can't help but be curious. Your mechanical hand looks impressive. Would you mind telling me more about it?
What? This old thing?
He lifts it up and turns it around in the air so you can get a better look.
Orca made it for me Orca made it for me some sweeps ago. It's wizard to the max. It's got like all the functions a guy could dream of. All sorts of weapons, tools, utensils. A toothpick.
A toothpick? Just the one? He adopts a serious demeanor, and it's so jarring that you blink in surprise.
Regulator. You better believe that the power of a toothpick has got to be used wisely. Every night, I wake up in a cold sweat thinking about the poor soul-sucking hoser that'll make me unleash it on them.
The dramatic startle and amused scoff out of you makes his face split into yet another wide grin. He just doesn't know how to quit them, apparently. You idly wonder if the toothpick has also been weaponized the way the spoon was earlier. You have an educated guess about that one.
Anywho, if I find myself needing something, Orca's usually available to give it an upgrade.
Sounds like a mutually beneficial arrangement. He finger guns you with his prosthetic hand. The tip of his index finger slides off to reveal the barrel of an actual gun.
You know it.
God, I love those sprites.
They're very good.
Alright. Noxious. You think you're starting to get a better idea of who Necron is. He's certainly more easygoing than you expected, and not at all the brooding, taciturn type you associate with his line of work. On the contrary, you'd say the conversation has been progressing rather smoothly. You think you built enough of a rapport to move on to the question you came here to ask. Oh, hi, Tom. Hi.
Hello there, Tom. I mean, look, this is not the voice I had for him in intermission, between Act 2 and intermission 1, but let me tell you, just reading him, the slang that he is using is very Australian, but yeah. I love it. He literally looks like he's from the Outback. Never change it. Thank you. I'm glad.
It is perfect. I love it.
Thank you.
All right. Tell me, Necron. What do you know about Noxious? Necron's expression darkens in an instant.
Noxious.
He spits a word out like something rotten.
Been on the trail of that old motherfucker for sweep or so now. I got in it, and I ain't gonna get closer to catching him.
Necron shuffles on his feet, his eyes flitting to the side before they meet yours again.
Gonna level with you, Secily. That dude's MO is way out of my area of expertise. I'm good at shooting things, beating trolls tattered. Technology ain't my ballgame.
You suppose that's another thing you both have in common? His hand curls into a fist.
He can't hide behind his damn screen forever.
You hope he's right. What else do you know about him?
Less than I'd like to. He picks on trolls online and gets underneath their skin until he's got them proper messed up. Then he makes them kill themselves.
He heaves a deep sigh.
It's always too late when we get wind of it.
It must be, especially if Noxious talks to his victims over direct messages. The thought fills you with a familiar mixture of unease and anger.
He was targeting Orica too.
Obnoxious antidote. You recall his chat logs with Orica that you went over while you were at her place. She listed off several other trolls' handles. It's not a leap to think what happened to them. What almost happened to you. Necron's staring at his mechanical hand, his fingers gripping the base of it like he's trying to crush it to rip it off. His whole body is tense, and you wonder if he's about to lash out, but when he speaks, it's barely above a whisper.
If he had done something to her...
He trails off. He doesn't need to finish his thought for you to know the intent of it. The pain written over his face is one you know all too well. Then, he shakes his head and looks back at you. His shoulders relax, but his grin doesn't manage to convince you.
He went and messed up with the wrong crowd this time for sure, though. I got the know-how, and I bet you got the necessary experience. Look, that's what you came here for, right? If we got the two of us on his heels, that bag of scum scraped off the bottom of the depths doesn't stand a chance. Ain't that so, Regulator?
You didn't expect him to embrace your possible collaboration so readily. You also didn't expect to find yourself seriously considering it either. You still have your doubts, but you nod anyway. You got that right, Exmort. You have exhausted your reserve of questions, for now. You take a moment to mull over the newly acquired information and consider your next course of action. Necron waits, patiently. And then a sudden ringing sound breaks the silence. You look around in confusion before realizing it's coming from Necron's mechanical hand. Is this his mobile device?
Please tell me he puts his hand up to his fucking ear. Please, please,
Sure
please.
enough, it transforms into something like a phone, except it's still also his hand. This is handy, you guess. Damn it, you're not going to stop slipping through these puns, aren't you?
Yes! 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 Perfect.
Presses the phone to his ear.
Hello.
Did you hear that right? You can't hear the other end of the line, but if his massive grin is anything to go by, it must be Orica.
Yeah? Yeah? She sure did. That's all handled, darling.
His grin fades to a more serious expression.
Yeah? Yep, I'm listening.
He takes you pacing across the room while Orica talks, throwing you an apologetic look as he points towards his phone and mouths an "I'm sorry." You nod and wave your hand. Don't worry about it. Whatever she's telling him must be a matter of some severity, judging by the crease that forms between his brows.
Where's that? Roger. You know it.
Another overused grin spreads across his face, and you feel your eyebrows shoot up again. You really weren't expecting this.
Nervous Necron does make me so sad. I just want to hold him.
Yeah.
Does Necron have room in his life for another mate?
I mean, I don't know if he would reciprocate for you. I am sorry, but he would be flattered.
I will still admire him from a distance. This is fine. He does only deserve good things. So true.
So true, Tom. I agree.
God. Okay. Operation Eye of the Striped Purge Beast is a go.
And now he's lost you completely.
Yep, us. Yep, Notch. You know I always do. Love you too, Sugar Plum.
I love that face.
The blush. Fuck. God damn.
He loves his wife.
He is a wife guy, and good for him.
He hangs up and turns back to face you. There seems to be a spring to his step, and a glint in his eye. He starts to explain before you even ask the question.
So here's the 411. Whole bunch of cultists are gathering in town. Nasty folks, the lot of them. Been on the tracks for a while now, too. Olka was able to get me the coordinates before the meeting goes down, so I should be able to reach the rendezvous point before with time to spare. So...
He seems to be considering drawing out the word until it has at least 3 O's too many.
How about you come with me, sugar?
We talked about the pet names.
Right on.
He scratches the back of his neck and shuffles on his feet.
Anyway, Secily. How does it sound?
We weren't planning to follow Necron around while he's chasing down his targets. If anything, you want him to back you up with information, or if you are particularly impressed, perhaps even as a sidekick. You can see the idea has merit, however. The thrill of getting opening during a case. That's something you understand very well. Especially if the case in question has overstayed its welcome. In the interest of your future cooperation, you don't want to hold Necron back from pursuing this. Not to mention, I would be rather bad form. Plus, if you go with him, you can make sure he doesn't get himself killed and you can expedite matters.
God damn, Secily.
Necron flashes you another grin.
Really quickly here. Estone, it's good to see you again. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. I am sorry that you've been dealing with acid reflux land, but I'm glad you've escaped it, because acid reflux is a bitch. But
yeah,
hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Here, I'm gonna sweeten the pot. My truck's out back. I'll give you a ride.
You focus back on him. The blood of the troll he murdered has formed a puddle around his feet, and he's left rusty footprints across the room while he was on the phone. He doesn't seem to mind it at all. He keeps bouncing from his heels to his toes and back as he waits for you to respond. You wonder if he's deliberately attempting to soak his shoes in blood and resist the urge to grimace. At any rate, nothing's keeping you here, and the dust in the air is starting to irritate your respiratory cavities. It seems you're going cultist hunting. However, you hardly need a ride. I came here on my bike. He seems to catch on to the underlying agreement and touches his temple with 2 fingers in a faux salute.
Ain't a problem, Regulator. We can load it in the back. Plenty of space there, with all with my arsenal.
He waves at you with his prosthetic hand. Then, finally, he steps out the puddle of blood and heads towards the exit you came in through. You make a point of walking around the blood as you follow him.
It's a primo truck, let me tell you. Pretty old school, I'll admit, but with all the mods Ark has been making for me, it's banging. Oh, by the way, Estonians, we don't have a lurk command here, but that's absolutely okay to just lurk. I appreciate that you're here. Thank you so much.
Yeah. You only recall one other vehicle being parked in the empty lot when you arrived here earlier, and the only way it would be banging is if it had some sort of mechanical malfunction. You're willing to believe it has plenty of those. You cast a sidelong glance at your new acquaintance. The blood isn't only on his shoes, and it isn't only rust-colored. His clothes are worn and dirty, new stains overlapping old ones, and the hems threadbare. He wears the tears as a badge of honor, and you suppose in a way it is. A reminder of past battles, past victories, but mistakes too. If he hadn't made any, there would be no cuts on his clothes. You understand this sentiment. You're also utterly unsurprised to find out that the beat-up truck you saw before really does belong to him. He lays a hand on the scratched paint and beams at you.
A beaut, ain't she? Totally radical.
Luckily, he doesn't pause long enough for you to need to think of a reply.
God, when I was quitting my retail job, was so amped about it at the time, because I've been saving up for a long time too. Still ended up spending my entire last paycheck on her.
He chuckles. The memory's clearly a fond one.
Good thing I had Orca there to save my ass like she always does. Still.
He passed the truck like a beloved bark beast.
Best purchase I've ever made.
You worked in retail?
That's your only question, Cecily? Christ. Yep.
He props his elbow on the side of the cargo bed, running his hand through his hair.
Used to be a manager at a supermarket. Supermart. Yep. And I was like, damn. And I was damn good at it to boot. Needed a box fed to fit all my employees of the Blink plaques in by the end of it.
You try to imagine Necron in a supermarket uniform. It gives you vertigo. You heard retail does things to a person.
So true, Pensive. Yes, of course. Why would anyone like Necron work in retail? Why would anyone work in retail? Period.
True.
So true, Pensive. Anyway,
he pushes off the truck and dusts off. You can see the imprints of his elbow on the surface. The dirt covering this truck is so thick that you could use it as camouflage on the beach where Urga's cave is.
Help! You said you had a bike?
You did. Resigned, you nod towards where you're parked at. It seems like you're getting this ride whether you'd care to or not. Necron's already moving towards the back of the cargo bed.
Bring her over there. Bring her over here, then.
You bring her over. You bring your bike over. While you're fussing with the lock, a rattle comes from behind you, followed by a sharp cry of pain. You rip around, hand already on Proserpina's handle, your whole body taut. You're expected to witness Necron being attacked or accidentally mauled by one of the many weapons stocked in his truck. Instead, you see him hopping in place, face contorted in pain, his left hand gripping the front of his right leg. The hatch on the truck's back hangs open, right where you imagine his chin used to be a mere couple seconds ago. You shake your head. For all of his swagger, this man could trip on even ground. You manage to load the bike into the truck without further incident, despite the array of weapons piled in the cargo. Then, Necron walks around to open the door for you. A spark of irritation flares inside you when this mechanical hand reaches for the handle. Last time you checked, you were able to operate doors just fine on your own. You look at him, eyebrow arched, and he gives you a somewhat sheepish grin back.
Got a busted hinge there.
He grunts with exertion as he forces it open. The door lets out a loud tinny creak. With a flourish, he motions towards the passenger's seat that is now freely accessible. If nothing else, you have to acknowledge his thoughtfulness. Climb inside and pull the door shut. While you wait for Necron... Yeah?
I'm glad that we have an interior shot of this. I did not think that this would happen. This is very good.
I love Necron Orca's little photo there.
It's so good. It's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
They should make that a charm in the shop.
Please.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, bud.
You're good. You're good. While you wait for Necron to walk around the front, you take a look inside the cabin. It's neater than you expected. A plaque with a gilded inscription decorates the dashboard. In cursive, it says, "Employee of the Blink." A small picture of Necron and Orga is tucked underneath it. You sigh with a reluctant measure of fondness. Just below, your eye catches a mishmash of what you assume are roadside tunes. "I'm gonna bomb with the highway. Blood color? Hardly know her. Turning Kai Kai could devour me whole and I thank them." The list goes on.
Hello?
You're not surprised to see Smash Mouth in his collection.
Oh my god. R.I.P. Smash Mouth this year. Fucking R.I.P. actually.
Yeah, this is so sad.
When did this route come out?
Like last year.
Yeah.
Well, no, 2019, like summer of 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Maybe Troll Smash Mouth still exists.
Maybe. Necron hops into the driver's seat and hits the ignition, flashing you another wide grin.
Time to book it out of here.
Book it?
Nah, just book.
You sigh and give him a furtive nod. Time to book. Just as you're leaning back and adjusting to see, the engine sputters and chokes. You raise your eyebrows on Necron.
She does this sometimes. Not to worry, I've got it.
It takes a few more attempts, but eventually he got it. The engine coughs like someone politely announcing their presence, and then settles to an even purr before rising off the ground.
There we go!
He takes the truck out of the parking lot in a smooth curve, and then you're riding back in the way you came. The same open landscape stretches out around you, but this time your eyes linger on the skeletons of the old factories. Is one of them your destination? Is as likely a possibility as any. There's no shortage of old abandoned buildings on your planet, each of them an appealing spot for shady types to gather and conduct their shadier affairs. There was this one case that took you to an abandoned toy store. That was one choice of backdrop you weren't really able to understand, but to each their own, you reckon. For the time being, it's calming, almost, not to have to worry about where you're going next. You don't often get to sit back and, quite literally, enjoy the ride. You make yourself comfortable and watch the road slip past. It's a few minutes before Necron breaks the silence.
So, Regulator, you never told me about this burglary that's got you so troubled.
You suppose you didn't? After considering for a moment, you present him with a rundown of your events as you reviewed it for your personal benefit some hours prior. It's concise, to the point, and includes all the relevant information without getting sidetracked into unnecessary specifics. Your visit with a certain scientist, you omit entirely. Necron listens attentively, humming and nodding as necessary, and when you're done, he lets out a bark of laughter.
Really got quite the stitch! Really quite the stitch you got on your hands, huh?
It's been shaping up to be one, yes.
And it's got noxious stench all over it. That's how investigating usually goes for you. Or...
You scoff. Hardly. It's all part of the job, however.
Damn right!
You give him a sidelong glance. I take it you've encountered your share of conundrums then, besides the one that's currently occupying both of us.
Oh, most definitely. There's always the sickos that like yanking your chain. It's all part of the job.
You give him a pointed look, but he pretends not to notice and focuses on the road ahead. How did you end up doing this, anyways? It seems quite the leap between Supermart and... You gesture across the truck interior. You can make out at least 3 different firearms just looking in the rearview mirror.
That's cause you never... That's cause you've never worked at a supermart.
You're perfectly willing to accept this explanation.
Nah, legit. Supermart was alright. Short term. Would have gone stir crazy had I stayed there much longer though. And there's so much grody shit going on there. So many trolls hurting and killing others, and all that static.
Your eyes snap to his face. So you decide to do something about it.
Yep.
He glances at you, his expression as dark as when you were discussing Noxious earlier.
Lots of folks don't know what they're getting into. Why I do it. Oh, excuse me. Lots of folks don't get what I do. Why I do it. And as far as I'm concerned, they're better off like that. But I wish there was someone like me around back when I left school. And yeah, I know I sound totally up in my waist shoot when I say that.
He flashes you a smirk, but it fades just as quickly.
You know, Orica, she was hurt by people like these. The types I go after, I mean. And like, it was just the 2 of us back then. I couldn't let all that happen to her again. Or anyone else, if I could help it.
He's silent for a few seconds. His hand clutches the steering wheel as he stares ahead.
Not saying mine is the best way to go about this, but someone's gotta.
You watch him for another beat before facing ahead, too. You didn't intend to question him on his motives, at least not right now, but you get the impression this is something he's needed to say for a while. You wonder if all the different accounts of what he does gets to him, if he feels the need to defend himself. You stay silent for the time being. Your picture of this man has become a little clearer, you believe. Not another 2 minutes later, he slows down.
We're almost there.
He takes the next exit and drives around a wide U-turn with a slight decline. You follow it with your gaze. It leads to another factory, just as abandoned and uninviting as the rest of them. You can't tell what's being produced here at a glance. It's too far for you to be able to make out any signs of life, but you have little doubt that you'll be easy to spot from there. Before you can verbalize your concern, Necron says,
Hold on tight, regulator.
he twists the steering wheel and the truck swerves off the road. Your teeth rattle, but you've braced yourself to the door handle and avoid the brunt of the discomfort. Smart move. He takes you along the circumference of a wide circle around the factory and approaches it from the back. Not unlike what you did earlier, he slows down until most of what's propelling you forward is the momentum of moving downhill. You understand the desire to be as stealthy as possible. Your own breathing has gone slower and more quiet, as if that will make a difference in whether you be spotted or not. The factory looms before you now, close enough to see the stains and rusts on the walls. Colorful writings and crass drawings cover them, suggesting that many trolls have made their way here over the sweeps. You have yet to notice any signs of life. The truck inches another short distance ahead before Necron hits the brakes and turns off the engine.
Let's walk.
You nod, ever so carefully. You crack your door open and push it until you feel the resistance of the broken hinge. The opening you're left with is barely big enough to slip through, but you take that over the risk of the door creaking. You shimmy your way up the truck. Necron joins you in the front of it, almost as quiet, and the two of you make your way forward. Neither utters a word. Beyond the soft crunch of gravel underneath your feet, there's not a sound that you can hear. Necron gestures towards a set of double doors. One of them hangs open. Dust and debris have filled the crack, keeping it in place. Inside, you can glimpse only darkness. You quietly approach the door, with Necron in the front, and you on the lookout for any movement around you. Necron lays a hand on it and nods at you. You follow suit. Slowly, carefully, you push the door open together, stopping whenever it feels like it might creak. Thankfully, you manage to open it wide enough without a sound. Necron switches his prosthetic to what appears to be a shotgun and walks in first. You follow after him, Proserpina firmly in your grip. You step into a single open space with a high ceiling and various equipment scattered throughout it. You don't pause to try to discern the purpose of them. They've long since been unable to fill it if the rusted, dust-covered surfaces are anything to go by. There's graffiti all over the place. You realize that you recognize a lot of it. Eyes like those you saw in Husk's barn and Elsie's symbol, and this of Osis's other friend, anime humorist, over again and again, all over the place. Did these start to crop up only recently, or had you not been paying attention before? There's so much in this world that seems to have escaped your notice until now. You and Necron tiptoe your way around the big machine and towards the center of the room, each of you ready to use your respective weapons. Then, after you made a full circle back to the doors you came in through, Necron lowers his armed hand.
Looks like we're ready to party.
You sheath your blade once more. Seems that way. We should find a place to hide and keep an eye on the entrance. He nods, already scanning the room.
Over there.
You head over. It's been a while since you needed a stakeout. but you can feel that familiar thrill of anticipation. The two of you settle in your hideout and get ready to wait. For a while, everything is still and quiet. Dust floats in the air, shivering in the faint light that drips throughout the windows. Besides you, Necron shuffles.
Hey, regulator. Uh, can I talk to you about something?
You consider the risk of talking while you're waiting for an unknown number of potentially dangerous cultists to show up, but then shrug. It's not like you won't be able to hear them first. Yes, what do you wish to discuss? He shuffles again. Give him a look. It seems unlike him to be so hesitant.
So, you know that me and Orca are like a thing.
Yes, as does anyone who spent more than 5 minutes in the company of either of them.
So true. Yeah, right. Yeah. Um,
You're starting to get a little concerned for him.
she's been my BFF long as I can remember. And we've been going steady for over a decade.
You hum to indicate that you're listening, even if you have no idea where this is going.
We ain't bonded yet.
Oh, this is going to be that kind of conversation. Bonding is the highest form of commitment between two trolls in a flushed or pitched relationship, for understandable reasons. The decision to permanently alter your body's chemistry to match your partner's, to quite literally become linked to another. There's a finality to it that can be intimidating. It's not a step to be taken lightly. Yet most settle in their red and black bondmates much earlier than Necron, although he's still rather young too, admittedly. You wonder if you're the right person to discuss this with. The two of you aren't even that close. You really just met today. Is this his way of telling you he's nervous? Or does he really trust this quickly? Necron glances at you, seemingly waiting for some sort of reply. You hear yourself saying, "Go on."
She's been wanting to for a while. And so have I, but
He's absently playing with the switch on his mechanical hand. He hope it isn't the one that activates the built-in heat-seeking missile.
I'm sorry, but you just said he's absolutely mind playing with a Switch, and I'm like, his Nintendo Switch right now?
Yes. His mechanical hand becomes a Nintendo Switch.
Good. I love that he just games to stim. That's very good. Oh my god. Really quickly here, back briefly to curse you and say me and my wife are out for dinner because my family, because it's my brother's birthday, which means the curse is extra powerful tonight because we are both powering it. Well, I know you can't. I'll just say it in chat, but hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. You don't know if he actually has one. You won't be surprised if he did, is all you're saying.
You're not sure if he has a Nintendo Switch. You know Orca. She deserves the fucking world. I really don't want her to end up regretting me.
He sighs, still fidgeting with the switch.
Natch, there's also all this shit.
He gestures around the room.
I'm ace at what I'm an ace at what I do, regulator. But like, what if we bond and then some dick for brains gets the better of me? What happens to her? This just in, Necron's ace. No way! Damn, ask that at the V cast ask. Don't ask that, by the way. They
No.
don't want you. They don't want you doing that. That's
Yeah.
That's jokes. That's jokes. Yeah, right? No way! I can't
That's
believe
just
this!
that's just a joke where Necron says, I'm Ace, and I'm just like, haha, yeah. I'm
Oh
also
my
Ace.
god.
Alright. What happens to her? She lives with it. She grieves, and she gets assigned a well-trained temp as she makes friends with the void inside her. She doesn't move on, not only because her body never lets her, not only because of the constant painful reminders of what she used to have, but because she will never forgive herself if she did. Or perhaps that's just you.
Oof. The projection.
Thankfully, Necron doesn't expect a reply to this time.
Reckon what I'm asking is, how do I know that the time is right?
You're really not the right person to answer that. Never. As soon as possible. It's always going to be a risk. That's just the world you live in, the way your bodies function. There's never going to be a perfect time. But that's no reason to never try, is it? After Alina's death, you ask yourself more than once if you'd still make the same decisions if you knew how it was going to turn out. The answer never changes. Necron's turned to fully face you now, his expression earnest and expectant. You might have felt this way too once. It's hard to be sure across the distance of time and bitterness, though you feel like these relationship conventions have always been alienating to you. But this isn't about you, and Necron's still waiting for you to say something. Have you talked to her about it?
Yeah, uh, kind of.
Sorry, I'm just gonna type
No,
out
no,
this message.
you're A-okay. Haha, we love projecting and also having a dead wife. Yo, mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't
Right.
love projecting about their dead wife and their insecurities? That's just how people be, baby.
Kind of.
Not really about the dying stuff, but she's gotta know.
And what does she think about it? He turns the switch on his prosthetic all the way, and it turns to a flame torch? With a startled yelp, Necron quickly changes it back to a hand.
Whoa. Anyway, she says she understands the risks, but she still wants it. Has for a long while now.
So, why aren't you believing her? For the first time in your admittedly brief acquaintance, you seem to have rendered Necron speechless. Orga's an intelligent person. I don't need to tell you that either. I'm certain she has given the matter due consideration. It's to your credit that you're worried about her, but if this is something you both want, by withholding it, you're prioritizing your fears over her choice. You need to trust that she knows what's best for her.
I think I get ya, regulator.
His shoulders relax. There's still worry in the smile that he gives you, but he nods.
Hadn't really thought of it that way, I suppose. Thank you. Thank you, Cecily.
This conversation is so good.
This is so much. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
A loud screech interrupts what would be a somewhat warm response. The main entrance slowly starts opening. The cultists are arriving.
Damn. The
Necron
cultists are.
gives...
Oh, I'm sorry. The cultists' arrival is just love losing.
God. Necron gives you a sharp grin.
It's showtime. It's showtime.
They start pouring in from both corners of the decrepit building. Two big, garishly dressed groups of people. And it isn't hard to tell where their religious allegiances lie. On the right, a dozen or so Mirthan maniacs parade in, slowly, practically exuding smugness. All of them are purple bloods. You wouldn't expect anything less from them. The Murder Maniacs are just about the last group on this plane who cares so much about blood color. And an entering stage are left, harbingers of the Alpocalypse. You could tell because all of them are wearing that gaudy screwball mascot as a mask to disguise their identity. All of them, except for one. You focus on the maskless person, a sense of familiarity tugging at your mind. Of course. That's the same girl you saw scamper off after you interrogated Indari, albeit in a somewhat even tackier set of garbs.
Help!
You had an interest in this meeting because you thought it would be a light reprieve from your recent endeavors, but now you're at full attention. Besides you, so is Necron. He's frozen, eyes darting back and forth between the two groups. He looks angry is an understatement. He looks like he has a personal vendetta. Is the past catching up to him as well?
You've got to be shitting me.
He hisses the word out through clenched teeth. Something isn't right here. More than you suspected, even. What?
That damn book. The black one. You see it?
You look a little closer, scanning the crowd for what he's describing. The overly large Mythomaniac representative at the front is holding a stark black book with some sort of symbol in white on the front. It almost looks alchemical. First era, not like any of the tomes housed for corporate purposes or even a general guide. You had been positive that anything like this was burned along with the rest of what remained from the Renaissance. If you had known, you would have accessed or even catalyst for more information.
That thing right there has been causing so much fucking trouble. Thought I got rid of it last time, but it keeps coming back. Real talk, this entire thing goes way over my head. But these hosers have been passing it around like chump balls on the weekend. It's always them. Every time. Regulator, we've got to get that thing.
There's a finality to his words, his voice and his body equally tense. He looks ready to launch himself at the trolls before you. You're starting to see how he gets into so many scrapes. You grip his shoulder to stop him and whisper back to him. First, listen. They might tell us something important. It takes a moment, but then Necron slumps back from his preemptive battle stance, though the scoff he makes suggests he's not particularly happy about watching the show anymore. You, on the other hand, have been waiting for such an opportunity for a while. As if on cue, the petite, maskless girl starts speaking. Did you do it? Did you really do it? I'm going to start making pouty faces if you didn't do it! Her voice is high-pitched and lilting, as if she is moments away from bursting into song. It makes your skin crawl.
Fucking mood, though.
The man holding the book, evidently the leader of this group of murder maniacs, is the one to respond to her, his voice booming every other word.
You really don't know when the party stops, do you? Thanks to your elevated contraband, it worked out just fine.
Contraband? The book? Yahoo! See? Not such a cruel task after all now, is it? With the setup out of the way, we're one step closer to the ecstatical life under my man Big Al. Blood secured through informant? Check. Horrorcore writs are... This must be the Vivifire's blood. An informant. You'd kill a man to know who that is.
Talia, that you know that's our word.
I know, but it's so much better than what they're actually called.
We got it all right, Vind, for your sacrificial proceedings. Provided that we're still on for having a spot on the big chair.
Well, duh! That's part of the plan, too. Just at the very end of the planned stages of the plan. Puzzle, you should have been there for our old plans. Like this one we made, the young droopy teal girl. You know, comic relief. Ah, it has such a great punchline.
Yeah, you told us about it a solid 50 times!
Really? I don't remember that at all.
Ain't that the raw gospel truth spilled? If I gotta be hearing about your prophecies anymore, I'd rather be carved into your gullet so you can read it off at will.
Silly man. I wouldn't be able to feel that anyway. It would probably tickle though. Okay, last question, so pay attention for me. This one's worth all the Talal points. You lean forward by now, desperate not to miss a single word of their exchange. Not that it's likely given how loudly they both speak. Do you know all the archetypes' locations? The Wrestle Clown responds with a lifeless and snide chuckle.
Christ, in one of them with my own greasy puppet fingers. Disappointing that fate decides on those who are weak to task. Equally disappointing that we couldn't get much of a look at our most important pick.
Aw, don't be so down on yourself. We got it done at least. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll get to see her and her real pupils again someday soon.
Wait. Did they actually go see Elsie?
No, not in the Stronghold scene where Elsie teleports there. No, that did not happen yet.
Okay.
At this point.
I was about to say, I'm like, holy shit? Wait. Okay, cool. Also, hi Juice, how's it going tonight? I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Thank you for joining
Hello.
us. I'll hold you to that, giggle mama. I hate that. I hate that combination of two words.
I hate it too.
It makes me think of Johnny Bravo, but misogynistic, and he's already pretty misogynistic.
Oh no!
SVV before vast area is always important to remember. I mean, I do know this, but when they're talking about a girl with a weird pupil, I instantly think of Elsie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, I just realized that there's DC RC in the background. That's so funny.
Yeah,
Holy fuck.
I drew that.
That's very good. I do know that you drew this. I remember your process for this.
Mm-hmm.
Because we ain't really finished until I see what it looks like when her limb ripped ass bleeds sweet lime for me.
A chill runs down your spine. Elsie. They can only be talking about Elsie. You're so funny. I like you. The girl, Talal, erupts into a burst of giggles. And you get that feeling that this meeting is coming to a close. Besides you, Necron seems to have reached the same conclusion.
That's enough listening. It's time we got that fucking book.
You scan the group in front of you. There's at least 20 of them, easy, and you can see various weapons on their persons. The big troll moves closer to Talal, about to hand her the book. This is a terrible idea.
No fake. You ready?
You think about the weird book again, about these people's apocalyptic plans, about how your case is connected to it. You think on Necron's eagerness to do the right thing, and his mate spirit, hard at work to support him the only way she currently can. You nod.
Check this out, regulator.
He points across the room with his prosthetic hand, now back in its gun form. You don't have time to ask what he's pointing at before he fires it. There's a big metal container on the other side of the room, one that you dismissed as a defunct machine in your earlier investigation. Now, you realize you were wrong. You see the explosive hazard sign a moment before Macron's bullet sinks into it. The blast makes your ears ring.
Holy shit.
The bright burst of light and a wave of heat that sends a cold stumbling. When the initial burst of fire subsides, you see the three of the murder maniacs are lying on the floor, buried in crumbling debris and blood. 19 out of 22 remaining. Necron's already rushing in, so you pull out Proserpina and charge into the fray. Your eyes are on your target, the book, and the troll who's holding it. Luckily, the purple blood is an easy mark, towering above everyone as he is. Necron is also headed for him. He dashes past another Harbinger before they can even take out their battle hammer. They swing at it. They swing it at his back. What?
Sorry, I accidentally right-clicked and it went to the menu. That's my bad.
Oh shit, okay. He dashes past another Harbinger before they can even take out the battle hammer. They swing it at his back. But before they can land a hit, you sink your épée under their arm. You twist.
Ugh!
You pull your blade out and the gushing blood sinks the front of your coat indigo. 18 out of 22. The cultists are starting to pull themselves together, however. They swarm you and Necron, blocking you off from the book. Someone rushes you with a long knife, but you parry, and you ram your elbow into their nose. To your left, Necron empties his gun into someone's chest, then quickly switches to a knife appendage and plunges it into another's throat. 16 out of 22. You cover Necron while he's pulling his hand free. A long, thin blade slashes towards your face, but you duck out of the way and counter with a thrust that finds purchase. There's no time to deliver a final blow, however, as now there's more than surrounding you. Against so many opponents, you need to exercise patience. Instinctively, Necron and you end up back to back, protecting each other's flanks from the onslaught. As you can see, all you can see is painted faces distorting bloodthirsty grimaces in the same bestial mask. It's been no more than 30 seconds since the explosion. Your hearing is starting to come back. A familiar, cheerful voice reaches over the cacophony of grunts and cries of pain. "Come on, big boy, the goalie is getting harder, whatever it is that you guys say!" You don't get to hear the response. Gradually, you can feel the balance shift. You're down to 11, but you've been taking more hits, too. Your wrist smarts from where you deflected a bat aimed at Necron's head. Blood drips down the side of your neck, and this time, it's your own. Then, an opening in the crowd. You come face to face with the giant purple blood. He didn't listen when Talal told him to leave. That was his mistake. And now, you make sure he pays for it. You're not leaving with that book. He doesn't bother with a response, already halfway through raising that gnarled stick of his to attack. Purple swirls in his eyes. He's about to use his psy-up, although you suppose he would still call it a Choco Voodoo. You barely get a chance to notice how his body starts to ripple and charge with extra power, a strength enhancer then. With the God of War, he swings his weapon at you. You turn Proserpina to block with a guard, but the impact is much more forceful than you anticipated. Pain shoots up your arm, through your shoulder, and straight into your think pan, and for a moment, your vision swims. You step back, bracing yourself for the next attack, but Talal grips him by the arm and tries to pull him towards the exit. To your surprise, he lets her.
Secily! You got to get the book!
Your eyes snap in the direction of his voice. He's still facing away from you to protect your plus 600, and he's facing 4 cultists at once. He's covered in sweat and blood and breathing heavily, but he holds his ground. A well-placed kick sends one of his opponents crash into another, yet a third one immediately takes their place. You turn back around to dodge out of the way of the bat aimed at your face. You can't hold them all off by yourself! You hear the whir of a chainsaw, see a burst of purple streak through the air, feel the floors give as another dead body collapses. 9 out of 22.
Go! Now! I've got this!
Your target has almost reached the door. You're running out of time. You can feel the single thread of a lead you have as it's about to tear. With a growl, you shove a baton-wielding control out of the way and bolt for the door. You stop at the threshold just for a moment to look back over your shoulder at Necron. He's taking out another one of them, and he leaps through the gap they left upon a broken conveyor belt behind him. He has the higher ground, but that doesn't deter the cultists who are already following. He meets your eyes for a second and gives you a thumbs up. Then, his face twists in pain. A spear is sunk into his thigh. He stumbles back, barely deflecting his sickle arching towards him, and there's so much blood on him you don't know how he's still standing. You almost rush back in to help him, but you catch yourself. You turn back around and run out the factory. There he is! You spot the troll just as he's legging it away from the factory to Laud in tow, and give chase with a cry of anger. You barely made 5 steps before 3 figures spring in front of you, blocking your way. Not so fast, Your blade jammed into your throat, cuts off the rest of their sentence. You don't have any patience left for this. The troll you're chasing stops. His companion almost crashes into him. He turns around to face her, slowly, like it's got all the time in the world. What are they doing? The purple blood looks at you. He grins, a slow, wide, malicious grin that mocks you even from afar. Your blood thrums in your ears, anger clouding your vision, and as you realize you won't reach them in time. Your second assailant starts raising their mace, but they're too slow and you're too desperate. You pull your pay free and use the momentum to slam its pommel into their temple. Their eyes roll back into their head and they hit the ground, hard. But it's too late. Just as your eyes find Talad and purple blood again, time and space seem to bend around them, ever so slightly. A scratch on a CD, a pothole that you can't see, and the 2 trolls are gone. Vanished, quite literally, into thin air. Despite everything you did, despite leaving your ally behind, you lost. You didn't move fast enough. You failed. And Necron, behind you, a muffled boom roused the factory. Your insides twist as you think about those last moments you saw of Necron fighting before you ran out the factory. He's already getting overwhelmed. You don't know. You don't think he could have survived an explosion. Your eyes lock on the last troll sitting in front of you. They've taken a step away, and they're just staring at their fallen allies in mute shock, the thin knife they are armed with hanging at their side, forgotten. They're not a threat to you right now. You don't care. You think about Necron, surrounded by more enemies than anyone could reasonably handle, but still insisting that you go, do what you came here to do. Still so confident even as he was bleeding out. You take your spare pay out and hand it to the troll in front of you. Take it. They do, too stunned to object. This is not a trick. There's a slight tremor to your voice. But when you lift up Proserpina, your hand is steady. The blade glistens with blood, as many colors as you could think of. I'm certain you know how this goes. You take a breath, preparing to explain the rules of this ritual of yours. Your audience has yet to make a sound. Then, they gasp, and stumble backwards. Bright purple blooms on their chests, right above their blood pressure. Their knees buckle and they crumple to the ground. The epee drops from their limp hand. You spin around and see Necron, battered, cobalt blood covered, and barely bracing himself against the wall, but he gives you a cheeky grin.
Hate to say it, Regulator, but your coping mechanisms kind of blow.
Then he slumps down the wall and onto the ground. For a moment, you're too stunned to say anything. You want to ask him how he's still alive. You want to thank him. You want to tell him to fuck off. You hurry to his side, for once not bothering to wipe the blood off of Proserpina before you slip her back into your sheath. He grunts as you help him back upright. He's trying to make himself more comfortable against the hard surface.
What's that?
Sorry.
Oh, you good?
I almost read his line.
Oh, okay. You become Necron now. This is your Let's Read.
Oh boy.
Was that the last of them?
No. The 2 leaders got away with the book. If it had been for this ambush, I would have stopped them.
I bet, Regulator. It's alright. Happens almost every time.
You look him over, taking account of his injuries. As numerous as they are, you can't make out the original colors of his clothes underneath all the blood. They don't seem as deep as you feared. Even the gash on his thigh appears to have missed major arteries. Relief rushes through you, and the strength of it takes you aback. With a sigh, you sit down on the ground next to him. Well done back there. Necron throws his head back and laughs. He stops immediately, gripping his side with a hard wince.
Anyone ever tell you you've gotta loosen up a bit, Regulator?
No. Still, you crack a smile despite yourself. Necron beams back at you. We should take you to a medical specialist.
Yeah. Can you find the way to Orcus from here?
Orica? You somehow don't think a tiny band-aid is going to be much more help than it was with your concussion. Not even a few dozen tiny band-aids.
Yeah. Been teaching her how to do first aid. She can patch me up all nice and proper.
You decide not to argue the point. Grunting, you push back up to your feet. Fair enough. Let's get you back to the truck. The ride to Orguz is uneventful. It's been a while since you've driven anything but your bike, but you get used to the bigger, heavier truck quickly enough. You try to go as fast as you can without rattling you both too much, and keep an eye on Necron's injuries. He seems to be holding up well enough. The last leg of your journey is the toughest. Navigating the beach towards Orguz home is even more challenging when you have to support another troll's weight. Doubly so when he's limping so severely. Nevertheless, you eventually complete your de facto three-legged race and reach Orca's door. No automated weapons greet you this time, just the troll herself. Cecily? Ron? Yeg.
Good. I love them.
Yeg. You barely have time to brace yourself before she tackles Necron, and by extension you, in an eager hug. She is now heavily stained in Necron's blood and doesn't seem to care at all. Necron grunts with the impact, but immediately wraps his arms around her.
You should have seen the other guy, sweetheart.
Oh, I don't doubt it, darling, flushed. Did you manage to get the book this time? Surprised Noodle.
We didn't. They got away.
Aw, that's fine though. I'm so glad you made it back in one piece. Flex. Both of you! Shout Pull. She ushers you both inside, gently supporting Necron with an arm around his waist. While you're walking, she turns to you. I'm glad you're able to find him, Cess. Pray. I was getting worried about because of how long it was taking to get back to me. Cold sweat. We encountered some resistance. Necron laughs under his breath.
You can say that again, Regulator.
Orko turns back to him. You need to tell me everything, Flushed Eyes. Orga sits you both down and retrieves her medical supplies. With Necron's supervision, she begins to treat his wounds. She actually does a fine job, to your surprise. He tells her about the day's events in the meantime, pausing occasionally when the pain becomes too distracting. You observe him for a while. This seems like a well-practiced routine, the way Orko just nods to the next wound she wants to treat, and Necron adjusts to give her access to it. Neither of them seems particularly bothered by this. I wonder how many times they've had to do it before. Although he's keeping a voice loud enough for you to hear, every so often two of them exchange murmurs that you can't, and don't want, to make out. She cuts his shirt around a laceration on his side and says something under her breath. It makes Necron giggle. I love Necron's little smile there.
This is so good! Ah!
You shuffle a bit farther from them to give them space. Today wasn't a victory, but helping ensure that Orca could treat your partner's injury one more time takes some of the sting of defeat away. As long as they're together, those two will be just fine, you think? Then, just as some of the tension in your body is starting to melt away, Yves alerts you of an oncoming call.
Is it?
It must be. You pick up. This time, Put the call on speaker. Secily. The voice fills the room, garbled through a voice changer. Low, raspy, unpleasantly close to the microphone. It's some relief to see both Necron and Orca looking as furious as you feel. I was wondering if I would hear your voice again after today. How does it feel that your little plans keep failing? You hadn't realized it before you said it, but you wager that it's true. How much of a coincidence would it have been for Necron to make a breakthrough in his case the very same day you went to look for him? A breakthrough that nearly cost you both your lives? Noxious laughs. The sound makes your mouth fill with bile. Is that what you think? I have you just where I want you, Secily. Maybe you'll understand when you interview your next contact. That is, if I don't get to him first. The words hang in the air for a second. Then the line disconnects.
Bulge brain scum licking. Oh, motherfucker.
You're inclined to agree. Your next contact? Says, do you know who he meant? I will. You stand up. You're exhausted. Every inch of your body hurts. You want nothing more than to get out of your blood-stained clothes and sleep for a very long time. Instead of moving to the door, you take a step towards Necron. We made tease the team back in the factory.
We totally did, yeah.
And it seems we both have a stake in hailing Noxious.
We totally do. Yeah.
It's not often, or ever, that you find yourself making this offer. And yet, you're convinced it's the right call. At first it was a slip of the tongue. But now you feel that for once, maybe your gut won't lead you astray. Maybe there are more people that you can trust to have your back when you need them. You extend your hand, your left one, to Necron. Let's keep working together on this case. He hops to his feet with surprising vigor, given his state, and grabs the offered hand.
Slammin'. I'm with you, Secily. Let's go get that son of a bitch. Yeah!
Yeah!
Woo!
Such a good round.
This is the only movie I will ever clap for.
Woohoo!
Oh,
But yeah, such a good round.
that's such a good route. Holy shit. Oh, I love him. Oh, I love him.
Yeah.
God damn. Oh. I want to. Oh, who did the action music? I have to give them massive props for that.
Let me look in the credits. Viridian, I believe his name is.
Okay, Viridian. Fucking props to them because that felt like a flash track. That felt just so well paced and well done. It was so invigorating. I loved it.
Yes, it's called Refutation. I believe it's in volume 4 of the Vast Error Bandcamp.
Got it. Okay, I was wondering if SCB had like its SBB had its own soundtrack.
There will be a dedicated soundtrack released on Bandcamp for all of the Snowbound Blood specific songs, like character themes and such.
yeah.
But that one is like borrowed from like already pre-existing soundtracks.
Got it. Cool. Fair enough. Yee, so happy you finally did Narcos Out. I'm so fucking happy too. It's good shit. It's good shit. Ugh.
Yeah. Me too, Heather. I'm so happy we got to do Necron's route. It's so good.
Yes, it is. Oh my fucking god. Necron's route's a big favorite of mine. Fucking me too. This was fucking great, actually.
Here's the thing. Gerbert's route is just as great, actually.
I'm very excited. Also, I want to say, Tom, it was thank you so much for joining us tonight. You take care, and I'll see you whenever.
Good night,
Goodbye.
Tom. Bye bye. Thank you for tuning in.
Agreed. This whole route was one. It was a really big one. I love Gerber as well. I'm very excited to see the Gerber baby. I'm I'm sorry, but like, look, I was talking to you about this a few days
Mm-hmm.
ago when we originally were gonna do this. I kept misreading Gerbert as the Gerber baby, and I'm like, brain stop, please, please,
Gerbat.
Gerbat, yes. God damn it! I was doing it myself. Anyways,
Yeah. And now, smiley face.
and now for tonight's other featured troll.
Yeah, Yuta, I know, the way that Talald.
Here's the funny part about this. I am a. I can't believe I'm about to say this on stream, but it's so true. I'm a clown fucker. There are some clowns in media that I go for very hard. Talad is not one of them. I don't know what it is right now, but Talad is still not, like, there for me.
There is, like, some depth to her that I think you can appreciate later down the line.
Maybe.
At least.
We shall see. We shall see. What the fuck happened to the Marsha rap? Just no Marsha raps tonight. We want to keep things on a good pace. We don't want to we don't want any like
Yeah.
really big interruptions. So it will be back next week. But anyways, hey Doug, how's it going
Hi,
tonight?
Doug.
Y-
Welcome.
your surprise entrance gimmick was thwarted for tonight and tonight only. Jesus. Yeah, but I hope you're doing well, bud. You just missed the first route, which was super fucking good, but
Yeah, Necrons.
we're looking at what critics are calling another very good route.
Yes. So basically, this volume, if Necron's route is showcases Cecily at her very best,
No.
then
Oh no.
Gerbat showcases her at her worst.
Oh no. Holy shit.
Just throwing that out there.
I have to read awful Cecily. Oh boy, let's
Yep.
go. Let's fucking go. I'm not doing
Oh
great. I'm
no.
not
I'm
doing
so
great,
sorry,
TBH.
Doug.
I've been nauseous all day and it's gotten worse, but I'll be fine. I'm very sorry. What the fuck? What is with stomach problems with people tonight? I'm fucking sending good stomach waves to everyone in this fucking chat. Everyone deserves to have a nice and funny little stomach.
I
No,
am so sorry, Doug.
I am also very sorry. I hope you feel better. I am.
I am manifesting good health for you.
I am. I'm sending you a Goku spirit bomb of feeling better.
Please.
Cecily Shirt's Gerbat 2021.
No!
No, what the fuck?
He
Uh,
doesn't deserve it.
he probably does not deserve it.
He really doesn't.
I mean, yeah, probably. I don't know him, but I guess we're gonna find out.
Alright.
Oh! Oh no! This warning!
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Okay. Yeah, okay. Content warning. This route contains police brutality. I see exactly where this is going. I don't like this. Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Unfortunately, reminder to everyone that's watching and reading with us right now, Cecily is a cop.
Cecily is a cop in a capitalist in a late stage capitalist society.
Yeah.
I-
Anyways. I'm
oh
a big fan
god.
of especially the prose and narration of this one, actually. Uh, so, there's gonna be a lot of narration reading for you.
Fair enough. That's fine. Let's. Oh boy, I'm gonna take a fucking swig.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a moment.
Hydrate. If I need to hydrate before we start Necron's Log, you need to hydrate before this round.
Good thing I always hydrate.
Mm-hmm.
Cops shoot generic Batman More at 9. Oh, geriatric Batman, more at 9. Fucked up. Fucked up.
That's not that old.
I forgot that's what geriatric meant.
Yeah.
Damn. Fucked up. Alright. Let's go. You grew up fast. Naivete never did anyone any favors as far as you're concerned. And so you seized opportunities as they presented themselves. You listened, at least passively, to all the slogans and the self-help mantras about turning yourself into a productive member of society, even while most of them were either useless or so propagandizing that they failed to make a coherent point. You took the core message to heart, and you never look back. For all that you've learned over the sweeps, nothing prepared you for the way eventually everything changes. Something that means the world to you today could mean nothing tomorrow. Everything is weathered, and everyone is trying to change themselves. Even you. But the world resists that change. For every bit of malleability in a person, there is just as much repetition. With enough experience, the patterns become glaringly obvious. You can predict the outcome of almost any situation. A memory like yours grants you all the tools you need to develop a profound wisdom regarding this planet. More often than not, though, your wisdom presents itself in the form of cynicism. Cestro didn't kill your mate Sprit. You can't hold Mr. Forgood accountable for anything that happened. Not when his personality so sharply contradicts any corrupt label you might want to stick to him. The kid spends his free time making toy buildings, for God's sake. He's soft-hearted and idealistic, and you're the closest thing to a mentor that he has. Odds are he's falling to pieces over indirectly hurting you like this. You really should go back and put him together again. That's exactly what makes this so hard. You're trying, but you're so used to projecting your hate outwards. Angry has always been easier than hurt.
I love this prose so much.
It's very good. You almost wish you could find some way to hate Cestro, regardless of his good intentions. That way, at least you can be consistent. These are the thoughts that flirt around your head as you speed down the remote, incongruous backroads that lie far outside Stronghold 21. It feels like you've lost it. That sense of unity, justice, you don't know. But whatever it was the one thing keeping you together. What do you do when everything feels so wrong like this? Well, you just mount your bike and drive. You guess. So you've been at it for a few hours now. It's definitely not on your agenda, but it's something to focus on. You could even say that the very fact that it's unscripted is a welcome change compared to the rest of this case. Hell, maybe you'll just so happen to stumble upon your mystery caller out here. Wouldn't that be nice? Unfortunately, all you know is that you're looking for cults. And even then, cult could mean a number of things. You're wasting time. You know that. The wind in your ears seems to scream it in you. That no matter what you end up finding, it couldn't possibly shed even a desk lamp's light on this mess. But the wind is also in your hair out there. You're alone and alive. And anything is better than knocking over the dominoes that Nox just set up to try to kill you. You like to think you have the capacity to be rebellious. For the 5th time in the last hour, you released Yves to scout out the area. You spent the whole day stumbling across old ruins and abandoned temples in search of anything that might count as cult activity. These past few chances, you've been happening across disgruntled folk on the side of the road with increasing frequency. And you have a gut feeling you're getting close to something. Some kind of farm, maybe? An anti-culprit hideout? It doesn't matter. The terrain has been getting steadily wetter the farther you move from the stronghold. The acidity of the rain-drenched ground threatens to sink this whole place into one huge, swampy bog. Every now and then, something slithers its way up out of the sludge. It reminds you why you never came out this way. Yves, flying overhead, suddenly veers sharply to the left. She's found what you're tracking. Soon, she'll return to you and give you the details, but you would likely have a few minutes before that happens. In the meantime, you pull over and try to force yourself to think clearly. Some days, an irregular sort of music will root itself into your head, occupying your thoughts for hours. It lacks consistency. In fact, you could almost call it a medley if it wasn't so unrefined and inscrutable. It lines your periphery, filling up the odd spaces in your mind until you're swimming in it. Or would it be more accurate to say drowning? You've heard it over and over again working this case. Hamifi has played her chords from the start. Husk mocks the downbeats in an innocent, disarming way. Yeshin forces her melody now, beautiful and caustic, an empathetic and irreplaceable presence, even though you haven't seen her in weeks. Wait, what are you saying? You're pretty sure the most sentimental instrument Yeshin would ever play for you is an air horn. Maybe she'll set them up in a line and tap up chopsticks outside your window or something. It'd be all romantic and grating, just like in that one movie. That one with the guy with the boombox. Brendan Fraser? Whatever. There's just no end to the mental sludge you have to dig your way out of to form a coherent thought. Oh, Mother, you're exhausted. You bring your hand up to rub your eyes. Yves takes this opportunity to land softly on your right horn. When you move your hand, she reconfigures back into your visor and fills you in on what she's found. It doesn't look like much. A settlement carved out of the swamp, it seems, flanked by old stony walls. The most impressive structure there is a medium-sized church. There are signs of life there, though. Troll Brendan Fraser is real. This has actually been a confirmed thing, actually.
Yes.
It is funny and wild.
His name's not even shortened to 6 letters. He got his name changed to be Brendan Fraser.
Rule breaker Brendan Fraser.
Yeah. He's a celebrity. He had enough money to pay for unconventional name change.
Fair enough. It doesn't look like much. A settlement carved out of the swamp, it seems, flanked by old stony walls. The most impressive structure there is a medium-sized church. There are signs of life there, though. You decide to check it out.
I love the backgrounds for this route.
God, they're so fucking beautiful. Holy shit. Mushroom fucking Valley, let's go. Alright, someone bring out the Mushroom Hill song.
Do 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 do. Oh wait, no, that's Pumpkin Hill.
Bum 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 bada 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 bum 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 bum
My
bum
name
bum.
is Secily, and we're at Marsham Hill.
Clip that. Clip that. Please. Please. I need this clipped. Holy shit. Partial clown.
We are both clowns, it's true.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. I I definitely do count as a clown. Oh my god. I
Oh my
I need to get back into it. Fuck. Ugh. Okay. When you arrive, you find that there's a bit more to this place than you initially thought. Several people are loitering around a couple of mushroom huts, and a few more are filing in and out of the church. It's not populous here, not by a long shot, but it looks like this place could potentially be home to up to 100 or so trolls. The noise your bike made getting here was probably louder than anything this place has heard for sweeps. It certainly seems to have drawn some attention. A lot of attention. Are you imagining it? Or are all these trolls staring at you with the pure hatred in their eyes? You have to be on your guard here. Okay, for real though, seeing that background gave me an instant craving to listen to the Marwin theme again, so Lamau BRB. Fair, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Zam fucking killed with the fucking backgrounds for this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is a Sam background. That I can see it now. I can see the style.
This is their character, so
Is it? Okay.
yeah.
I did not know that.
They're about Zam's character.
Cool. Fair enough.
By the way, shoutouts to Zam, aka Max. I freaking love you and your character so much. You're fucking insane.
Shout out to Zam with the always good art. Like straight up, Zam art be just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You dismount your bike and proceed to very officially trip where your boot sinks to the ankle in the goddamn mud. It makes a sound like you'd imagine a troll swallowing a bowling ball would sound like. Sort of like a wet pretty gross. Clipped, thank you, I see it. I appreciate that. When you manage to pull your leg out, you do your best to make it clear that you're here on official business. To your chagrin, it looks like pretty much everyone saw you playing in the mud. None of them found it very funny. In fact, when you look around at these people, you notice something odd. They won't hold your gaze. Instead, they respond to your staring by becoming seemingly distracted by some features in the dirt around their hives. For a moment, you're unsure, but you quickly come to the conclusion that they're all acting, trying to put on an illusion of harmlessness. You draw your sword.
Okay, Cecily.
My name is Secily Iopara, Chief Regulator of Stronghold 21. Who is in charge here? No one responds at first. You begin to wonder if Proserpina would make a difference. But that thought is cut short when a mountain of a man steps forward from your right.
For the moment.
You whip your sword towards the approaching troll. He throws his hands up, palms empty save a dirty rag, which he promptly drops. Yoda, me too. Fair, actually. He does look very nice. Oh
I love
my
him
god.
so much.
Is that a jade blood? Interesting. Maybe you do have some real business here. He starts talking again, this time a little more tense. Only a little.
That be me.
And you are? Your sword is right at his throat. It's a familiar spectacle for you, really.
Nobody important. I promise you that.
The two who stare at each other. You squint at him, and he looks at you like he just found you pouring ketchup on your cornflakes. Finally, he gives you a gentle look that seems to say, "Look how slowly I'm moving." Sorry, I wasn't looking for you to speak there. I just had a burp that was trying to come out, and it made me pause. Look how slowly I'm moving. And then he draws your attention over to his right hand. He closes it save for just the pointer finger, and you follow it with your whole head as he raises up and taps your blade away from his neck.
Not anyone worth killing over, I mean.
I'll be the judge of that. Why don't you start by telling me what a jade blood is doing all the way out here?
Mind if I tell you somewhere private?
He glances around, making sort of a half gesture with his eyes. Still, no one looks up, as if you're being intentionally ignored. No, not ignored. Worse, you're being tolerated. Only now do you notice the state of this place. Some people are clearly missing limbs. Others are clearly deathly ill, and so downtrodden that they may as well be. They shrink away from your eyes, scared to be seen. Maybe their innocence wasn't an act after all. You feel a spark of guilt coursing through you. Your impromptu suspect is still at your mercy, standing at sword point in full public display. Did you want to humiliate him? Secily, I cannot stand people looking at me, but I also cannot stand when people aren't looking at me. God, unfortunately so true, Pensive.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah.
Oh, mother, what is wrong with you? You shrug, defeated, and signal for your would-be captive to lead the way. He bends down and picks up his now mud-soaked rag with an almost undetectable frown. You consider apologizing, but he's already walking towards the church by the time the thought is already fully formed in your mind. When you catch up with him, he's standing just outside the doors to a stopgap churchside greenhouse. He's holding his ruined rag in one hand, and with the other he opens the door. You press your lips together and frown as you step inside. I feel like an apology is in order here. I hope you can understand. I don't normally threaten innocent people like that.
Been a rough few weeks for all of us.
That it has. I'm not sure I got your name.
Sure about Bad Trav.
Okay, real talk here. As soon as he said that, I expected the fucking Danganronpa intro thing to come up, where it just puts him to the right, and then it just shows his name, and it like the bullet chamber starts rotating in the background.
Oh god, yeah.
I completely don't know why I thought that was gonna happen, but like, sure, the Ultimate Gardener, baby, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
God.
I know this is your investigation, regulator, but do you mind if I ask a question of you?
A certain Scorp employee comes to mind. Usually I try to keep things strictly professional, but seeing as I ruined your rag, Gerback takes a moment to think. He huffs.
Regulator, just what are you trying to achieve here? I understand this place may look suspicious to someone like you, but my blood is no excuse to assume the worst of me. And living out here doesn't make these people criminals.
He looks to the side.
A lot's been going on these past few blinks. It's not pretty, but it's not what it looks like either. I figure you can understand that.
One, hi Austin. Second of all, why would you fucking make me think about Santa? I I completely blocked him out of my mind. But like, yeah, I guess he's just Troll World Santa Shika. Shika. I don't even know. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it right now. I'm trying to.
Shiba?
Is it Shigbia?
Shikiba.
Shakiba. Thank you. God damn. Merry Christmas. Oh God, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Shitsgram.
Merry Crisis. You're making me suspicious, Batraff. His expression sours. I'm only here for information, not to make arrests. As long as there's no reason to arrest you, that is.
I can give you information, but you gotta promise I can trust you with it. All these folks have had some bad experiences with corporate. There's a risk involved in eviling you near this place. I don't want, people getting hurt.
He's acting suspicious, but not in the way that you're used to. He seems desperate? Scared of something, or perhaps for someone. And what's with his accent, anyways? You can't put a finger on it, but every time he says a lot, it makes you wince a bit. Must be some regional dialect. This is just a regional dialect. I see.
Yeah, so part of Gerbat's quirk is that he misspells some like long words sometimes. Like if you look at his previous sentence, he misspells experiences. And
he did.
When this route came out, some people were like, it's supposed to be spelled like this. I was like, no, that's intentional. That's part of his quirk. Including the term "a lot" being combined into one word.
Fascinating. Okay, I like that. That's... Hell yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, you think of all the ways you could manipulate this scenario. You could threaten him. You could lie, tell him what he wants to hear so he'll spill his guts. But something about him makes you want to just give you a reason to trust you. I've been doiling out a lot of that lately. Trust. First with that OCS kid, and now with Gerbat. It's been a while since you felt like people could really trust you. Alright. How about this? If what you tell me isn't dangerous or related to my investigation, I'll look the other way. He visibly relaxes.
Say, you ever had a freshly grown hot dog?
I
gave a bunch of them right over here in the garden. Try one, I insist.
This is where this comes from! I have fucking seen this image! I've fucking seen this sprite. And I didn't know, and I completely forgot who the fuck was holding it. I thought it was actually the fucking Bart character that we'll see later on.
The fucking L.
Oh my...
Gerbat L.
Gerbot L. That's really good. Oh my god.
Well, yes, hot dogs are plants on Repeton.
I love that. Jesus Christ. We don't know why he has a vein on his neck. I'm gonna assume it's like a scar. I'm gonna assume it's a scar or something, but we'll hear it. We'll find out.
That'll be covered later in this route, so...
Fair enough. Take this hot dog. Takes this hot dog. Takes this hot dog. Takes this hot dog. Alright, I guess we're gonna go on BRB while I take 5 minutes to make a hot dog in the microwave.
Literally, yeah.
Would you like a nice hot dog in these trying times? I should fucking would actually. I actually do want a good, like, nice hot dog. I wanted one for lunch and I did not have one. But like, maybe soon. And anyways, he reaches down to a particularly supple-looking hot dog plant, pulling one of its fruits off with a loud stamp. I'm not really in the mood.
You think I'm trying to poison you or something?
I could go to my local Sam's Club. I don't really want to drive out that way. I would probably just go to like a local like burger and hot dog place. I know one that has really good shit, so I would probably do that. But I appreciate the suggestion. You can't help the way your nose crinkles in distaste. Now that you mention it,
If you can't even trust me enough to eat a hot dog, I don't know how far this conversation's gonna get.
take the hot dog, Cecily.
Come on now. Just take it. Okay, it's important that you click refuse over and over again.
Okay, alright. We'll do refuse. You wave the hot dog away. Gerbet looks heartbroken. He looks like he just might cry. Come on now, Cecily. You can't just let him cry, can you?
Refuse.
Turns out you really don't care if he cries. You heartless bastard.
Now, I come from a long line of people who know not to look a gift myth beast in the mouth. And you are looking at this myth beast up and down like it's some kind of prize show. Do you have any idea how long it takes to grow one of these plants? It doesn't happen overnight, that's for sure. First, you gotta find the right kind of soil. Then you gotta hope that the seed imbibes quick, because it could take up to 6 weeks for it to germinate if the field capacity is even half a centimeter from optimal. And even then, you sit around watching a frail little sprout play in the dirt waiting for the fungi to show up. Can't grow anything without the fungi. And All Mother knows they can be hard to coax out if your soil isn't tilled.
Should you stop him?
Refuse.
Nah.
I mean, just look at the flower structure. You can't tell me you think one species formed that. And once you're done pondering that, you should look even closer and ask yourself if you think that anything is going to grow from that flower with any kind of speed. And if your answer is anything other than I do not, then I have some news for you. A week, a centimeter. Could take you 5 blinks just to get a decent crop.
Holy shit.
And they smell. These things are pollinated by flies, you know that? The whole garden starts smelling like a mortuary that's run out of preservatives.
Oh god, it's like the corpse plant. Ugh.
And then once the fungus is started sprouting, the actual fruit has to start growing out of it. Only known case of a plant reparasitizing a fungal phallus, actually. And you know the meaty part of the hot dog is fungus. The skin on the outside is what we call the fruit. It's a mechanism. Plant gets pollinated and that triggers the fungus to start growing. And then the seeds grow in the corny layer on the surface.
You have the power to end this, Cecily. You do. Just take it.
Refuse.
People like you make me sick.
And the whole time you're waiting for that, you have to watch the field for just about 1 million different predators. Hot dogs are eaten by just about any small to medium-sized lucii you can think of. I don't just go around passing them out to any old drifter. It's not like it's some kind of regular treat. It's a special offering. I hope that gives you some idea of what I'm willing to put into this. But I guess some folks just don't have the stomach for hard labor. They prefer tomato paste and really condiments. That's not how I like it. The way it grows is nice enough for me. I just think it's neat. Complicated, though.
He just likes plain hot dogs. Oh my god.
I mean, me too, though. Me too.
Okay,
actually.
okay, that's fair. But because I'm a Chicagoan, I know I'd get chewed out for that.
Way I see it, only reason you refuse this is you're trying to disrespect me. But you know, I bet your losers raised you better than that.
What are you trying to prove here?
Refuse.
You feel as if the agency to make the decision has suddenly and metaphysically been lifted from your shoulders. Please take the hot dog, Cecily.
It's so funny.
It just stops. Fucking hell. Oh my god. Please take the hot dog. You make the only right decision. This was the only outcome. God! Fine. You cautiously take the hot dog from his outstretched hands. You usually don't eat them with the corny skin still on. Or at all, really. If you're being honest, hot dogs are pretty far down the list of foods to eat during an investigation. Then you're not a cop, Cecily. But he's watching you so expectantly. He raises his eyebrows in anticipation, or at least in the closest thing to anticipation as he can readily express. The silence is deafening. It's just you, the hot dog, and your audience of one. Damn it, I was hoping there would be at least one Cecily sprite with the hot dog in hand. You raise it to your mouth. Poof. The hot dog explodes all over your face as soon as you bite down. Oh dear God. You start coughing and wiping at your eyes, and then realize you've just been poisoned. That's it. You're going to die in the middle of a swamp in the middle of nowhere. And it's all because you trusted a stranger enough to eat a fucking hot dog. You choke in one final breath and stare up at your assailant with watery eyes. He looks at you. He looks down at you. And seems to be stifling a laugh.
It's overripe.
It suddenly becomes clear to you that this, unfortunately, you are not dying. No, it is something far worse. You just got punked.
You gotta pick them before they get too old, or you get a face full of spores.
Why would you? How could you? He points behind you. When you turn around, you notice a couple of bystanders from before peeking through the windows. They're struggling to keep the grins off their faces. Whereas before they couldn't bear to look at you, now they're stealing quick glances at your powdered-covered face and mimicking the scene to each other with exaggerated, explosive gesticulations. Unbelievable. There were much simpler ways.
You think so? Or just less embarrassing ones? Now they know you don't plan on killing anyone.
I could have told them that.
They've all been lied to before. You just got humiliated and you didn't lash out. Now they can trust you. Yeah, unfortunately, cops are allowed to lie to people.
Unfortunately, Jesus Christ. I am... I'm imagining now Gerbert's own... Gerbat's own fucking, like, prank show.
Please. Impractical jokers.
Impractical jokers! Oh my god. Poof, Cecily has been granted the Dorito fight status condition. The only way to cure the status is to take the L. I mean, Cecily is taking the L, alright. Even if she didn't want to.
Yeah.
This is so stupid! Why do people you interview always have to be so difficult? What? Does he think the secrecy to diplomacy lies in blowing fruits up in people's faces? You really hope your code isn't permanently stained with this crap. Whatever. At the very least, now no one is focused on you. He's brought you down to their level, for better or for worse. You hope he's happy with himself. You decide not to tell Gerbat that you were seconds away from re-drawing your sword. I see. You are not happy, but you're enough of a professional to know when to keep your cool. You wipe your face off on your sleeve. It stains a yellowish white.
More importantly, I can trust you. That, and I couldn't use that hot dog anyhow.
I feel like we've gotten off track. Would you mind telling me why you're here? That is, if I'm trustworthy enough.
No need to gripe, there's a reason for all this.
He points out a noticeable division between the plants in the greenhouse. On the one side, cash crops abound, hot dog plants mostly, but some other less recognizable plants and plant hybrids are scattered here and there too. On the other side of the divide, stretches of nightmarish flowering weeds nearly obfuscate They're containers. The perimeter is only recognizable by the desiccated plant bodies that line their edges. Just to the side, powerful herbicides stand at the ready. Yes, those are some ugly plants.
Not just ugly, dangerous. They grow too quick and destroy everything.
So you've placed them next to food crops?
I'm trying to grow hybrids. If I can breed a harmless little thing that still grows just as fast, I figure it'd be useful. Could play them around and make some dead land live again. The hot dogs are just an added bonus.
Aren't you worried that they'll spread?
As if they haven't already. All I can do is weed them out as I see them for now.
Yes, and I'm sure you do an excellent job. But that doesn't explain why you're here specifically. Do you expect me to agree that your botanics qualify as a reason to be so far away from the stronghold? I mean, if you could have easily arranged for a greenhouse of a much higher caliber inside the city walls. He looks at you like you're some kind of idiot. The phrase, city folks just don't get it, rattles around in your head.
Guess not.
So, what is it then? Are you running from something? Or maybe you're running from someone?
Nothing like that. Just trying to study something is all.
And what would that be?
Look here.
He directs your attention over to a particularly colorful plant. It's been a long time since anything with this much vivacity grew somewhere you could see it, so it has a certain charm to it all on its own.
See, this looks pretty, doesn't it? It turns out it could kill you. And me! All I had to do is poke it at the anther and it paralyzed me.
Is that a threat?
What? No. I just thought you'd think it was interesting. I could tell you how I read it, but I bet you'd arrest me.
Unless that is somehow relevant, maybe I should.
It's relevant, don't worry.
He looks down at the plant. The two of you share a moment of silence as you watch the gears turn in his head. It stretches on much longer than it should, and finally you stare at him unrelentingly before he finally decides to take the hint and explain himself.
Picture this.
He holds up his hands like he's about to tell you something incredibly important.
Sometimes I feed it hot dogs.
Oh, for God's sake! And?
Remember that overripe hot dog I gave you? I feed those too.
Are you just gonna keep showing me plants?
If I'm being honest, I don't know what else I can do for you. You asked me why I'm outside of the city, and these plants are the answer.
You really wonder how someone so big can walk around in a greenhouse this small without constantly breaking everything. Not to mention the very real possibility that he could paralyze himself. You are suddenly very cautious about where you are putting your hands. Are all of your plants this dangerous?
A fair amount are. If you're worried about them, we could talk inside the church.
You replied to go along with whatever he says at this point. You just nod. He holds up a finger and fishes around his pocket for a moment before presenting you with a shiny golden necklace. It's quaint but well made. Though you can see some slight irregularities in the chain. The Caparia pendant hanging from its center is expertly crafted by someone who clearly takes their work seriously. You look at Gerbak quizzically.
It's tradition for this place of worship. I hope you can understand.
Yes, you can. You've done these kind of things on stings before. You've done these kind of stings before. Sometimes it serves you well to look the part, otherwise you catch some unwanted attention. Take the necklace and slip it over your head. The two of you exit the greenhouse and head towards the church doors. The inside of the church is far less gruesome than your mind played it up to be. There's no tuning forks, no screaming voices, no weird dark walls. In fact, it almost looks homey. Well lived in. You get a few strange looks from some of the occupants, but any hostility you may or may not see, any hostility you may or may not have imagined is gone. They seem satisfied enough when they notice the glimmer around your neck.
So, what did you want to ask me?
Finally. There are a few things you can think of that might be important. Gerbat is a Jade Blood. By birthright, he knows things about corporate's inner workings that most trolls don't. You know, he's probably living off a decent corporate wage. If you asked, you sure Mifi could have dredged all the kinds of information on this guy, but you are not exactly desperate to talk to her at the moment. You know he's growing and stuttering dangerous plants. You're a little bit confused about that. If they're so prolific, why have they not spread farther? Why are you only hearing about them now? You have no idea if Gerbat knows the answer, but there's no harm in asking. You know he's in charge of a non-traditional Church of Caparia. Now that you think about it, that could make a halfway decent motive for wanting to steal a vial of the godlike blood. You sincerely doubt he had anything to do with the burglary given his disposition and his living situation. But it doesn't hurt to be too cautious. Let it be known you're not above grasping at straws. Oh, Secily, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You decide to ask about ties to corporate. As a Jade Blood, I imagine you're well taken care of by corporate.
That's almost right. When I feel the need to head into the city, I've got money. I don't really see much point in it, though.
Because you grow your own food?
That, and I can't hardly stomach what they sell there anyway.
Surely you must keep in contact, though. You must be doing something important to convince Mifi to let you live out here.
I admit the reasons I'm here border a little on the personal. That and the plants I'm studying are region-specific.
How so? What's stopping you from growing them in the city? Gerbat sighs.
Hold on. You see these?
He pulls his shirt collar to the side. Underneath, his chest is covered with painful-looking mosses and fungi. They seem to have spread across his whole torso, embedded in what you can only assume are his arterial and venous patterns.
Got permission to say where I picked these up from.
You don't know how to respond. Your mouth hangs open for a moment, ultimately leading you to ask to sputter out the stupidest thing you could ask. Is it contagious? God, sometimes you have trouble with this. If you would like to just keep your distance from people like you usually do, you wouldn't be making these mistakes. Yo, Very, how's it going tonight?
Hi, Very. Welcome.
I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Well, for you, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, it's just Gerbat hours.
Yeah, Gerbat hours.
Gerbat hours. You're like a magnet for bad conversations with strangers. Emotions and tact go out the window as soon as you lose even the slightest amount of control over the situation. As it stands, you got lucky. He hardly seems to notice your faux pas.
Not likely. Gotta spend some quality time with the plants themselves to get this number. It's killed some friends of mine, though. Ruined a few farming communities, too. I'm wanting to keep that from happening again. Part of what I'm doing out here is looking for a cure. I'm not really supposed to be in this place specifically, though. Don't think maybe it's gonna like that much.
You're telling me that you're intentionally breaching your agreement with corporate?
Yep.
And you don't think I'd let Hamifi know what you're doing?
Nope. You don't strike me as the type.
Bold assessment. She must not check up on you very often.
She fills me in on some things. Bit of a one-sided conversation, usually. Sometimes I help out with coding when she needs a hand. But other than that, not much.
Have you ever heard anything slip? Something that maybe you shouldn't have?
Why are you asking me? You're the one working for him.
Oh, damn. He got you, Cecily. Stay with me here. I'm just trying to fill in a few gaps.
What is it with you? Scared of your bosses?
He softly shakes his head.
You know, I knew who you were as soon as you stepped off that motorbike. Maybe it doesn't tell me much about herself, but from what I hear, you practically raised her. I hope you didn't come all the way out here to try and dig up dirt on your kids.
He stares at you, daring you to defend yourself. I'm beginning to think that you're misreading the situation. You're really not in the position to be questioning my motives. He scoffs.
I didn't realize we were taking positions in the first place.
It's part of the job.
Or it's a part of you. Everything always has to be some kind of challenge to you. Everybody has to have something to hide. What are you hoping to find, Regulator?
It's an interesting take on the situation, Vetrav. But it's patently unhelpful. Perhaps we can leave the psychoanalysis to the temps and stay on task.
All I'm trying to say is that there's enough hostility in this world. You're not doing anyone any favors by adding to it.
How noble of you. If you had seen half of what I'd seen, I doubt you'd be so accusatory.
I think I've seen enough to form an opinion on it. You know, I may not seem like it, but I've done a decent amount of reading. You ever heard of something called a fair trial?
My understanding of them, they were hardly fair.
The very fact that you recognize that proves you know what I mean. The Renaissance had some problems, major problems, but hit closer to the mark than whatever we're doing right now. Now, we hardly even arrest anybody. We just kill them instead. I mean, you just about took my head off back there. And for what? Because I looked at you funny?
I apologized for that. We both agreed that I misjudged the situation. He chuckles.
Misjudged it, huh? So what happens when it's not me on the other end of your sword? Someone who doesn't know how to deal with anger. What happens when the instant troll gets misjudged?
What happens when your fair trial fails to convict a serial murderer?
I hate Secily, actually.
Cecily is not doing great here. Cecily is being a fail wife, actually. Oh, Christ. In my last case, I uncovered an operation that killed dozens of trolls with fake medicine. I found them with crates full of poison and a manifesto that would have put it everywhere. What happens when the indictment for those smugglers gets lost in the legalese? Should I redirect the widowed bondmaids to you so you can explain your philosophy on justice? He crosses his arms. Maybe he went too far.
You're a regulator. Much better to let businesses decide who dies.
Oh! You're obviously not getting anywhere with this. You sigh. Why don't we talk about something else? I have other questions.
Be my guest.
Deadly plants. So those plants, the ones that grow so fast. Why have I not seen them before?
You probably have if you've ever been outside the stronghold. You've gotten to be a bit troublesome.
Given the fast-spreading nature of the species, I think that they would be impossible to avoid.
Give them time. It's bound to happen sooner or later. I'm trying to breed some nicer ones to outcompete them when it does. That's my cause.
You say that like they haven't already had time. I find it hard to believe that the species just so happened to evolve like this overnight.
It does seem hard to wrap your head around. I wonder sometimes if it's something we did to ourselves.
The result of the many mistakes of trollkind, is that it? And it just so happens to take form of, what, the plants?
Alchemy can be a dangerous tool. It can bring a lot of good, but I reckon it does things to the mind. Now I think we could be seeing what it does to the plants. I've been around a lot of plants, and these ones just aren't right.
He's speaking as if he's informing you that your mate spread is in critical condition. concerned, saddened but professional. So there's alchemy involved now. I'm finding this harder and harder to believe the more you talk about it.
Well, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know anything for sure. But I won't just shrug it off as a sign of the times.
He looks down.
If I'm being perfectly honest, it takes a lot on me sometimes. Just trying to keep my head up. Trying to keep from just throwing the towel and leaving the world to its mess. I guess that sounds pretty foolish coming from a troll who's fighting for a cause like mine, huh?
If I've learned one thing in this case, it's that there are a lot of causes to fight for. I'd venture that yours is better than most. He nods.
What about you? What are you fighting for?
It's an odd question. You haven't really reasoned through the whys of your life since you were young. Back then, you fought for her. You wanted to succeed because that meant you could put behind the terror of this world a failure behind you. She saw yourself in the mind's eye. You saw yourself in your mind's eye with a simple smile on your face. She would stand right there next to you, not a care in the world. She would be happy, free. She would look at you like you hung the stars in the sky for her. Because you would. You would do it 1,000,000 times over for her. You would do anything. But then she died. And now all you see is red. This is pretty delicious writing. I agree with that, Doug.
Yeah.
I suppose I fight so that no one will have to live through what I have. He stares at you with a thoughtful look on his face. You can't help but feel uncomfortable in his silence. I didn't mean to be melodramatic.
It's not melodrama if it's real. You lost someone.
He's seen right through you. How did you know?
I've seen it before. That's the real reason I'm here. I could set up shop with plants anywhere. I could spin some argument about soil quality or wherever you like, but that'd just be talk. I'm here to help a friend of mine get by.
If you're only here for one person, why are you in charge?
I'm really only in charge through proximity. As it turns out, the one I'm helping here, the one I'm here to help is the one who should be running the place.
That explains the lack of response to you being held at sword point then. Shut up! Shut fucking up, Windows! I know you've been wanting to restart all fucking day, but I'm not gonna give it to you, you fucking bastard! I'm in the middle of something. Fuck off. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, what can you do? They don't look for me for guidance anyways. Kind of hard to lead a religious community when you're not so religious yourself.
I don't blame you. I think a lot of harm come from the piete.
I believe it. A lot of people wanting to end the world one way or another in those circles.
Your conversation reaches a natural lull. It's about time you change the subject, you think. I'm not going to let Windows... You want Windows to restart right now? Okay, fine. Yeah, okay, stream's over. Good fucking bye.
No! That's the end of Gerbat's Run, everyone. Good night.
No more Gerbat.
No!
The case. Do you happen to know anything about the vial of lime green blood being stolen? He looks confused.
Lime green as in lime green? You sure it wasn't olive?
If it was olive, why would I be looking into it? He makes a face like he's wrestling with something. After a moment, he shakes his head and blinks his eyes clear.
I guess not. Sounds like something out of one of those fairy tales.
I assure you, it is very real. Real enough to get at least 3 people killed.
What makes it worth killing over?
I would assume you're not just playing dumb.
Nope, this time was all real.
Oh no, I love him. Right. The blood is said to have life-giving properties. It is rumored that it could make someone immortal in the right hands.
And you think I have something to do with it?
I doubt you have even the means to pull off the operation in question. Unless you have a lot of highly trained friends, that is.
I don't make many friends. Especially not those kinds.
I didn't think so. Well then, you can go ahead and cross Gerbet off your list then. That was harmless. Move on. Gerbet seems airtight. And yet, despite your best intentions, despite you making a fool of yourself time and time again today, you honestly don't want to leave. Maybe it has nothing to do with Gerbet. Hell, of course it has nothing to do with Gerbet. Let's be real here. If you wanted a lecture, there were plenty of people on this planet that would love nothing more to rip you to shreds. I don't make many friends, he said. Yeah, you're not the only one, Batrav. Birds of a feather flock together, even those with broken wings. You don't want to leave because it means going back. You don't consider yourself an easily frightened person, and that would be because nothing scares you. Nothing physical, that is. Your head, though. That's a story waiting to happen. You're fascinated, you think, with Mishri, with Yeshin, just as you were with Alina. Because when you're with them, you don't have to focus on you. Yes, of course it would talk about your life, your interests, your fucking coping mechanisms, but in spite of everything, it never felt real. Nothing ever feels real. These people in your life have incredible ability to shift your focus. They can make your world seem manageable for a time, either by promising you a partner in all of this, or convincing you that the malaise you feel is something out of the ordinary, something external. But it's always there. You feel it. You've always felt it. Oh, 1 second.
Good night.
Good night.
Why would you say that?
Because I heard the person.
I know.
say it.
They can't hear you.
Because funny.
Yeah, that sounds about right for you, but you always feel it. You've always felt it, just waiting for you to let it in. If you're busy, it can't find a way to talk. It can't find its way to you. If you run in circles, if you talk yourself up as the one in charge, then there is no room to take control. You are an incredibly important person to some people. That should be enough. You wish you could tell Mishri everything. You wish you could feel the same way. You wish you didn't have to feel this at all. You wish you could just tell Alina all of... You wish you could tell Alina instead. Pain. Okay, Secily. Time to calm down. What were you doing?
Something wrong, regulator?
Oh, right. Nothing at all. Now that you think about it, there's something else you wanted to ask. Gerbet's friend. I was just thinking, where is this friend of yours? And what happened to them?
That's one thing I'm not at liberty to talk about. It's not my business.
I think by now we've established that it doesn't matter so much as whose business it is.
Careful, regulator.
Or what?
Or I will ask you to leave.
And then what? You think I'd just go? I don't think you took the vial, but I know from experience that intuition is a far cry from precognition. Would you call it cynical if I told you I was still suspicious of you, of everyone here?
I don't think that's what makes you cynical.
You know what? You have every right to call me a cynic. I will forward that to you. By your standards, we're all cynics. Maybe we should be taking a page out of your books and live in austerity. Let's all just let plague eat us alive. Who cares? Why should death matter if we're pure of heart?
I can't speak for the rest of the plane, but it wouldn't do you any harm to let a few things go.
Why does he keep doing that?
I'm sorry. This just isn't something I can do.
Okay. I understand. He smiles.
I knew you would. I doubt you want to see him anyway.
He's in pretty bad shape, I imagine.
Yeah. Like I said, it hasn't been easy.
He rubs the back of his neck in a way that's almost apologetic. His friend obviously means a lot to him. But then, something catches your attention. It was quick, but his head turned just barely over his left shoulder. You followed his eyes. There's a door. Interesting. I suppose I should keep my promise. Nothing about this is related to my investigation. So like I said, I'll look the other way. That's just about all I need from you. Thank you for your time. Gerbert stands. He moved to do the same, but he motions for you to remain seated.
Before you go, I know this trip hasn't been kind to you, but I appreciate what you're doing. The way I see it, the least I can do is make you some tea. Grow it myself. Isolated, of course, no contamination.
Tea isn't... Actually, that would be nice. He smiles at you again. Then he slowly walks out of the church. No! No! Cecily, no! Fuck!
Yeah, you
I
already
knew it!
knew.
I knew it. No, I knew it from the fucking... I knew it from the moment she said interesting. I knew that she was gonna get in there. God damn it. Time to investigate. You know what you're doing is wrong. Well, that's not exactly it. You would know it'd be wrong for someone who was investigating something as serious as you are. Not to mention, Gerbat is incredibly cagey. No one is that defensive when they have nothing to hide. You'd have to be an idiot to not take this opportunity. This wouldn't be the first time you took advantage of a suspect leaving you by yourself. And if you recall, which you do, some of your most groundbreaking discoveries have come from snooping around on your own. Yeah, but fuck! The last time you did this, you almost killed Osius. You straight up got into a fucking... You almost got an altercation with him. What do you think Gerbat's gonna do when he fucking returns? Cecily, you don't fucking think. You have no brain. You have fucking no brain, ma'am. Oh my god! Hi, Vexy. I'm glad to see you here. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Welcome to me having to suffer because of Cecily's idiocy. Oh god, okay. Cecily never fucking learns Iobara. So true, pensive. In a way, it's sort of all you know. That something's eating at you. Feels like the whole time you've been losing control. It feels like you've been losing control this whole time. If you leave and you come up with nothing, you only let yourself get taken advantage of again. For sweeps now, you've been nothing if not easy to manipulate. Corporate, your mystery caller. Now Gerbat. You're done. This lapdog can hold her own leash for once. You start to take a more careful look around you. This church is nice enough, but upon further examination, it does ring out as a little on the gauche side. The pendant you wear around your neck is proof of that. You can't help but wonder what would happen if you hadn't put it on. All the eyes on you as you stand up and walk towards the door in the back. It's unlocked. I can't open the fucking door.
You have to.
I have my eyes closed while I press this fucking button.
Screen caps that make you feel dread.
So true. This place is disgusting. It almost makes you feel like you stumbled into one of those secret dungeons in one of those reality shows turned psychological horror TV programs that seem to be so popular nowadays. Honestly, you don't remember the last time Repeton aired a season of decent reality TV. At this point, it'd be more avant-garde for a bunch of beefcakes to actually just hang out with each other for 30 minutes. A brisk walk down the center hallway grants you a mental map of the floor. Looks like there are about 6 rooms here. You decide to start from the far end and work your way up. You suppose this dismal lighting is probably meant to inspire the feeling of danger in you, but that's the only feeling you get from the place that is trying its too hard to give you a headache. What are these, gas lamps? So many chandeliers. Whoever planned this decor clearly had an aesthetic in mind, one that makes you hard for you to believe that all these cobwebs are real. At the end of the hall, one of the doors on your left hangs slightly open. You peek inside. Empty. What a waste. The next door you try to open into is what looks like a storage room. Inside there's about anything a troll would need to survive long stretches underground. Food, clothes, detergents, nothing useful to you. You take a minor pleasure in throwing the door closed and hearing the thud it makes to echo down the halls. Cecily actually evil moments. Oh my god. The next door you try is locked. That won't do. You step back and plant a solid kick underneath the doorknob. The wood splinters but doesn't break completely. Apparently, you need to do some more physical training. You prepared yourself for a second kick. The door but all shatters with a satisfying crunch. What remains slams against the wall inside and bounces back towards you, shaking violently against its hinges. When you check inside, the disquiet in your head evolves into a dreadful seriousness. Unlit candles are amassed in the center of the room, around a ring painted of religious symbols. The floors are dirty with discarded objects, and what could be either food or blood stains the wall. None of it could be more than a couple weeks old. You scan the corners, and for a moment you see yourself as a sacrifice into the blade, lying prone in the center of the circle. One slip in the blood on the walls could be yours. You should wrap this up quick.
Gurbat?
There's your suspect. He's just barely poking his head around the room behind you. Not quite. You storm towards him, drawing your sword. He quickly steps back, but makes no move close to close the door. You respect that.
Wait, who are you? Do you need something?
You can start by identifying yourself. You push your way in. He recoils, backpedaling to reestablish some distance between you.
My name's Cretus. I'm the head of the church. Is Gurbat with you?
Is he begging for help already? Pathetic. Gurbat won't be joining us. As for you, you grab your suspect's arms. Come with me. He struggles, but when it comes to the strength, there's no contest. You force him across the hall. You hear his breathing quick. You hear his breathing quicken when he sees the painted circle. This was your doing, was it not? He doesn't respond. His arm covers his face instead, wrapping around his head. Tell me, how many trolls have you sacrificed in this room? How many innocent lives were lost because of you?
It's not like that.
His voice is barely audible. A breeze over a waterfall. I'm not in the mood for lies, cultist.
You don't understand.
You force him against a wall. I think I understand perfectly, Line. You spent sweeps building a tomb, and now you're ashamed of the bodies. You make me sick. He's practically choking on his own breath now. But I won't let you kill anyone else. Suddenly, Kretus snaps, and a flash his teeth sink into your arm. You pull back and slam into the wall hard enough that he's forced to release you and gasp for air. As soon as you're free, your sword is at his throat. He responds by collapsing into a pitiful heap. Glare at him for a moment. This is nothing new to you, really. You've seen tons of suspects cry like this. Each time it ends the same. You unsheath your second best dueling rapier. Take it. His only response is another wail. He's hidden his face fully behind his arms, his nails digging sharply into the back of his head. This is your only chance at survival. Get up. Still, he doesn't move. Maybe you should just end this. You feel this blood soaking through your coat sleeve from the bite. This feels familiar. For one graceful moment, all sound melts away. Your head spins. Across the hall, you can just see into Kretus's room. It's a wreck. There are layers of dishes and clothes, strange stains, abysmal lighting. It's as if the motivation to even move had evaporated. It kind of looks like yours did when Alina died. You turn back to Kretus, who had given up on screaming. His body's racked with a gentle sob. Your grip on the rapier loosens. A hand grabs the collar of your coat, and you watch the room pulse as you are dragged away. The sound returns all at once as your second base rapier hits the ground. As you're pulled into the hall, you realize that you will likely never see it again. Gerbat deposits you at the top of the stairs, just outside the door you snuck into mere minutes ago. As you fall onto your knees, he quickly disappears. For a brief moment, you are left alone. In the middle of the church floor is an unturned tea set, its contents slowly seeping through the carpet between the pews. When Gerbat returns, he doesn't even look at you. He stops just in front of you, seemingly in physical pain, and drops an assortment of herbs and bandages onto the ground.
Or the bite.
The words fall from his mouth like cinder blocks. As they hit the ground, his eyes turn up and he glowers at you, his face a tepid mixture of confusion and brutal disappointment. He practically jerks himself away when he turns to go back downstairs. The door slams behind him. Given time, it's remarkably easy to become someone else. One could simply walk into another room. Values and morals are malleable, derived from sycophantic threads like an unspoken mesh between the devout and the desperate. Intrinsic affection.
Affectation.
Affectation. Oh, okay, yes. It's disquieting to perform for no audience, just as it is to realize that when the audience is gone, so too is most of what you would call you. Silence will kill you. It suffocates. It recapitulates. It exposes you. It makes it all too easy to believe. But this doesn't matter. You were not meant to be liked after all. And even if you were, what makes Gerbat qualified to pass any kind of judgment over you? You've known for a long time that there was never magic in this world. It's his fault for not realizing that himself. Fuck this. And him too. Remember back at the office when you first joined as a junior regulator, one of the first things that caught your eye was a piece of paper stapled to a wall. It was a crudely drawn square, blue bright ink with the caption, "Bang head here," repeatedly. It was some kind of office joke, something about being fed up with management. But it evolved into a tradition. A stupid decision earned due comment from anyone nearby. Better pay the visit, eh? Well, you know where you're going when you get back. You stand up and move towards the exit. But you can't seem to bring yourself to leave. Is there any chance he could forgive you? He seems like an understanding guy, right? You stare at the door. You stare at the door to the stairs. Once again, all the eyes are on you. It's not every day a troll sees a regulator get dragged up the stairs and dumped on the floor like a bag of bark beast shit. Your indecision and pacing must be equally as perplexing. You linger, letting yourself get irradiated with the judgmental stares, until there's only one thought left in your head. You have to get out of here. You turn towards the church doors, bracing yourself. You take a deep breath and...
What are you still doing here?
You look over your shoulder and he's there again, closing the door to the stairs as quietly as possible. He steps away from it and stops about 10 paces from you. He crosses his arms, struggles to get over something visceral, and finally looks up to meet your eyes.
You know, I thought I knew you. I don't know why. Call it old souls. But you are not who I thought you were. I guess that's just another example you can use to call me an idealist. So congratulations, Regulator. You were right after all.
Sorry to hear about that. If only I was more predictable.
Listen, I get it. Things are hard. But it's not my job to fix you. Sort yourself out, but don't do it here.
He takes a deep breath.
If I ever see you here again...
He doesn't even finish the sentence. As you walk down the path from the church, the blood from your arm finally soaks the rest of the way through your coat. It drips unceremoniously from your hand, briefly staining the dark ground below before it has overwhelmed and diluted the mud. You take a moment to wrap your wound with the bandages. You're not well versed enough in herbology to know how to use the rest, but you have people for that back at corporate. Speaking of which, you make a mental pros and cons list. Cons. In the past weeks, you've learned that the brutal truth behind Elena's death alienated yourself from your place of work and disobeyed orders to the point where you may as well call yourself freelance. You learned that things have challenged everything you thought that you knew about the world, yet you're still so caught up in routine and mixed emotions that your internal monologue sounds like a dirge. Last but not least, your clothes are ruined. You're absolutely caked in dirt, fungus, and blood, not to mention the bite mark tears in your sleeve, and you're missing rapier. Thankfully, Settlement doesn't seem too keen on mirrors. Otherwise, you might have to do some self-reflection. And the pros? Well, at least you have your pride. Then again, thinking back on what just happened, maybe not. You're about to nobody, and you know as soon as you leave this place you will likely never hear anything about him ever again. He's not the type to go running to Hamifi either. You don't have to worry about another session of heated pen clicking. It's if you were never there. Besides, even if any of this did matter, he's not about to open up a dialogue with you anytime soon. You have nothing to gain from dwelling on this. You decide to forget this night ever happened. It's for the best. You approach your bike, which is still sitting right where you left it. As you take one last glance behind you, you make your mind and scroll through the list of your contacts. This little sabbatical of yours has gone on long enough. It rings a few times, and for a moment you wonder if he's even taking calls from you anymore. But inevitably the ringing stops and you hear the gentle rustle of another person on the line.
Cecily?
He sounds like he just received a call from the dead. Well, that's not exactly right. It's more hopeful than that. He sounds like he just received a call from an old friend. Yes, it's me. I think it's time we talk this out. Yeah, you deserve the fucking look in fear, you fucking bastard. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Also,
this route is a lot.
yeah. That was a lot. Also, very troll. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking
go.
Oh, the Gerbat photo. Oh.
Yeah. And of course, at the bottom right, it's him with Cretus.
Yeah. Oh, God. And the blue and white picture, I'm assuming...
It's Necron, yes.
That is Necron, okay. I'm like, yeah, that's new, but I just didn't, like... I was like, huh, is that actually him? I think... Is that him in his chainsaw arm? Mermaid Man. Oh, Mermaid Man. Prayman. Shitways Barnacle Boy. Oh, yes. Fair. It does.
But yeah, what did you think of that route?
I'm bumping Secily down. Look. Oh, no. I understand why she acted that way. I just hate it. You know, it's still
it's not right.
Yeah, it's still a disgust. I understand her, but I'm mad at her.
Yeah.
Ugh, God.
That's exactly what I meant by this route is Secily at her worst.
Yeah, Secily really was a fail wife this time, huh? Oh my god. Okay, first of all, where's Gerbat? Here's Gerbat, I see him. Gerbat... oh, no. I gotta think on this, I'm gonna put Gerbat next to Indari. I like him. I like him
too. He's very good.
Is Cretus on here?
I don't see him. I don't see him on here now.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, yeah, Gerbat's good. I like him. He's friend-shaped.
I know. I love him. I carry him.
And now Necron gets to go in Phenomenal, and he goes above Yeshin because you can literally see my type in all 5 of the fucking top 5. It's really funny, actually.
Yeah. So true.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Crisis Volume 7 is like, Necron's route is like people who don't know, and then Gerbat's route is people who know.
So true, Pet. Oh my fucking god. Large in charge in one way or another. So true, actually. Oh my god. Points.
He's a Necron liker.
Yeah, I am, huh.
I called it out way before we started reading Snowbound Blood.
Yeah, I already like Necron in his one appearance in the in-between of Act 2, and is that still, okay, I actually want to know this. Does that still count as Act 2?
It's post-Act 2?
Okay, post-Act 2 is probably a good word. In post-Act 2, when I read Necron, it was very good. Again, I did not have the Australian accent, I know that as fuck, but, like, now it's perfect. But no, I love him, he's very good, he is husband.
Yeah.
Even if he did just gut someone's brains with a spoon. Are you tier listing? We've been doing this every Vast Error stream.
Yeah.
I'm tiering them based upon how I feel about them. And I just put Necron from great to phenomenal, and I put Gerbat in great. So yeah. This is the I never stayed to the end because I'm chaotic and rude. Well, now you need to start watching the post-credit scenes, huh? Talad instilling dislike. I I currently do not see appeal. That could change. Don't get me wrong. That could change. I just don't see the appeal right now. She's... Okay, look. She gives me Toga vibes from My Hero. Like, it's big manic pixie girl vibes. And when she's like a chaotic villain, I don't know. But again, we haven't had a lot of time with her. And like, I'm sure that will change very soon because going into intermission intermission 2 side 2, we're going to be dealing a lot with the corporate world, but like, we'll see.
I'm so sorry, Yuta. You'll see. They'll all see.
I'm so sorry, but like, that's just the assessment right now. Look, you cannot blame me for this assessment right now because this is all that has been presented of her. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm glad that you're a scholar. I'm a simple student, and I'm trying to see whether or not I should drop out of school or should continue following my degree. You know, you feel me?
Yeah.
I understand. I was neutral on Talad before, but now I like her. Okay. Okay, fair. Fair.
I enjoy her, yeah.
I enjoy the her. Catalyst Scholar. We've got a few of those. There's a few of those here, actually.
Yeah.
God.
Just a little silly.
She's just a little silly. Oh boy, yeah. She sure is, huh? Fear. Fear, actually. God. Corporations. Oh, I mean, to be fair, everyone here is anti-capitalist. This story is... Vast Error is an anti-capitalist story. If you don't see that, then we're not reading the same story.
Yeah.
Fuck. I do want to say... God, this really is a story about just capitalism. This particular story of Snowbound Blood really is just one woman being the police force for a corporation, having very little jurisdiction and going fucking wild with it. Cursor! Fuck. Glommer. Okay, that's interesting.
Personally, yeah.
Interesting. I was honestly probably going to say that Ev, like, has a lot of the same personality traits of Murret.
Yeah, kinda.
It's a lot of the chaos. It's a lot of the chaos and just being, like... Yeah, that's about it. Sounds like a new and upcoming antidepressant. I mean, I can't wait to start playing with people, antidepressant or Vast Error character.
Odd.
God. Yeah, who are next? Let's head back over to Snowbound Blood really quickly.
Valtel and Sabine.
The Green Hue Bloods are always the best characters, honestly. Gerbat, Glommer, Albion. Oh, hang on 1 second.
Hanifi. Siraj. We simply love green people here. So true, very.
Uh-oh. I accidentally started a route. Who did I actually... Okay, hang on here. Oh, no, this is just route.
Volume 1.
Yeah, this is just route. This is just volume 1. That's fine. That's...
Hey,
No, I.
Volume 7 started with the option to do a recap, so guess what? We're gonna go all the way back into the beginning.
Oh yeah, this is the prologue stream, baby. Let's start all over. Jesus Christ. No, but hang on here. Hi there, Amifi. Christ. Oh yeah, Rauru is actually a green blood.
He is, yes.
Of marble and speakers shattered. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very fascinating, very fascinating.
I think you would enjoy reading Sabine's lines, honestly.
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. We'll have to figure that out for next time.
Yeah.
Sinair. Is that the... Yep, that's the fucking punk girl.
Yes, I love her so much.
She does seem very cool. Like old school cool. Like she has a motorcycle as well.
Yes.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I very much appreciate it. God damn, I'm gonna have to like sit down and like unpack all of this actually. Austin, you need to update. I'm waiting to update until we actually finish volume 10.
I think they meant Windows.
Oh no, Very actually did mean
Oh,
the
yeah,
didn't Snowbound Blood. Only 4 more months until we're back to the main comic. We out. So true. We're so close. But I mean, I'm also having a great time with Snowbound Blood. So like, I'm not like, I don't want to rush this. Of course, I don't want to rush this.
Yeah.
That to update Winged. Oh, don't. I was when you said ding, I was honestly expecting there to be a fucking another Windows update ping. Jesus Christ! When I close my computer for the night, I will fucking just let it update. You know, like
Yeah.
I'll do it then. Jesus Christ! All right. Any final words, bud?
Necron, best boy. Gerbet's also my favorite he, they. Ding.
Fuck off. Fuck all of you. I love you all. God damn. Dig?
God damn it!
Dig?
No!
Dig?
God
Dig!
damn it! No!
Typo in chat. Fucking typo in chat. Get his ass. Get his ass. That's what you fucking get. Oh my god.
I am mortified.
This is what you deserve. This is what you
After all the
deserve.
times I made fun of you for typo in the group chat.
Yes, exactly. Oh my god. Get his ass. Get his ass. Alright. Next week. Is it good question? Stream Monday, maybe stream Tuesday. I don't know yet. There will be a stream Wednesday. Stream Wednesday is a big one. Stream Wednesday, it's gonna be a special. It's gonna be a ValantWynn stream special. It's gonna be a Christmas special, baby. But not in the way you think. Not in the way you think. I'll see you all then. Have a great day. Take care. Good night.
Good night.
Change the world. My final message.